Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheen out of Atlanta, Georgia. Some people say the other side of Atlanta, but it's still Atlanta, all the same. But we got two, let me see now. I think my folks' video done went out on them. I don't see nobody on the video. I'm wondering if they still here. There go Tucson. I don't see Zamari this morning. I don't see her. She's on here, but I don't see her.
No, Zamari's not turning her camera on today. I'm still in bed.
Good Lord, still in the bed. Lord, my Jesus. But listen, I want to say good morning to my brothers and my sisters from another mother, but we got the same father. Ladies, always first. I'm going to go to you first. Zamari, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm sleepy today.
We about to wake you up real quick. With these questions we have today, we're gonna wake you up real quick. I promise you that. Toussaint, Donald Toussaint, out of Apollo, whatever the name of that fancy city you're from down there. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing the best I can with what I got, brother.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
I need to ask y'all a question. Zamari, I'm gonna start off with you. You ready?
I'm here.
Okay. Zamari, what is hard to get rid of? What is the hardest to get rid of? Racism,
Wait,
huh?
wait, wait.
Lord Jesus. Lord. I thought she was saying wait, hold on for no. She talking about wait, okay.
It's hard to lose them pounds.
Look here, you telling me I'm on that journey right now, so I know exactly what you mean. But I'm gonna lose at least by what's this May? By August, I'm looking to lose at least about drop about 15, 20.
Hey, get it.
By by by
Get it.
yeah, by August, I'm looking to lose 15 or 20. But let me ask you this question, and I need you to listen to my question real close. What is harder to get rid of? Put Tucson on the phone on the video call. I want to see his face when I say this. What is harder to get rid of? Racism or roaches?
Really, Raheen? Really? Oh my God. Really? That's that's how you start this morning. Oh, you hear this? You hear this, wise man? You hear what we got to deal with here? Racism or roaches, man.
Tucson got it. He admitted when I said it, he fell back in his seat. So he know, yeah. Which is harder to get rid of, racism or roaches? For this,
Man, look, I don't know about in some people's lives, okay, but for me, it's roaches. Those suckers, they don't like to die, okay? I swear you could step on them and they still pop back up,
yeah, they jump back up.
crawl away.
That's all you got, player. That's all you got. And I thought you were serious about getting rid of me. You ain't serious. You ain't serious.
Yeah, they down there talking all that smack while you're chasing them around.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell all my boys we're gonna laugh at you, player, cause you ain't coming legit. You ain't coming legit.
Oh,
Tucson, I gotta ask you this: which one is harder to get rid of, man? Racism or roaches?
It's a tie.
he
Oh
straight
Lord.
up said it's a tie.
Wow.
You know, now watch this though. This is gonna be you gonna learn a lot from a dummy this morning.
Uh-oh.
They say, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
that roaches can survive atomic blast.
Yes. Crawl right through it. Who throwing? It'll be like, man, who lighting them all them firecrackers? Who lighting them firecrackers up? You know, everybody's laying on the deck. Why are they people laying on the ground? What's wrong with them? Now, Charlie, you got to get up, man. You feed me real good. You got to get up, Charlie. Go ahead, Tucson. I'm just
Mhm.
my best being silly, man. Go ahead, man.
So, when was the last atomic blast?
Mm.
Hiroshima?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wasn't there racism before then?
Yes, sir.
Is still racism.
Mm-hmm.
Tie.
Mm.
For some reason, no matter what you do, it pops right back up like roaches.
Mm.
Racism is like roaches.
Wow.
They everywhere.
Mm.
They inflict every home.
Mhm.
Some kind of way they get there.
Is it
Them son of
is it the
guns.
same thing like in the dark? They all over the place. When you turn on the light, they try to run and scatter.
They spread. They act like they're not there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like roaches.
Mm.
You know them wood roaches. You can call an exterminator if you want. They pop up. You got a clean house, and you say, "Where that be doggone? Where he come from?
Mm-hmm.
Big old
Yeah.
joker."
And water bugs.
That's what you call
Yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no water bug. That's a polite word for roach. You just don't want to say you got no roaches. That ain't no water bug. That's a roach. Talk about we ain't got no roaches. Yes,
Oh,
you
that's
do.
a water bug, man. That's a water bug. Ain't no roach. That's a water bug.
I ain't call it a water bug. But that's just as they just as sure as I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Time you turn the light off, the light on, racism try to scatter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why people don't want you to learn certain things because they're like roaches.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, they just like it. They don't want to be exposed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'll find out you done had it. They done got them. They have them in their household.
Wow.
Well, you'd be surprised what kind of conversations go on at some people's table.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
for real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, and I don't mean any harm, but you'll see it at both tables, both types of tables. Let's just talk about most time when we talk about racism. Unfortunately, we consider it only is within black and white,
Mm-hmm.
but no, it ain't.
No. No.
No,
No.
it's bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a lot bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got Latinos; they don't like Mexicans.
Yep.
You got the we talked about
Mex-
it.
mhm.
Excuse me, the other day. Certain people, Japanese and Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I can't say that like that, but it's everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
just like
Yep.
roaches.
Yep.
Some of them son of guns is a big roach,
Big roach.
and then you got them little bitty roaches that can get into the smallest
Mm-hmm.
crack.
And you and and and
Them little,
and you and use you as a greyhound and travel where they want to go.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why I say that is we inflict our children with racism so it can keep going,
Mm-hmm.
so they can get through the little cracks. They'll start in the elementary schools
Mm-hmm.
and say, if you leave them children alone, they'll play together.
All day long and have no problem doing it.
And me, and I'll shut up. I don't eat ice cream after anybody,
Mm.
but kids will share their ice cream with each
Yeah.
other.
Mm-hmm.
You leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say we don't play with them, you didn't planted that seed.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even know they was black or white.
Now I'm going to get in trouble this morning, Tucson, and it's all because of you. I'm gonna get in trouble just because of you, Tucson. You did this to me this morning.
You say?
My wife will share anything we eat except ice cream. She ain't gonna share no ice cream.
I ain't gonna say that either.
It ain't just me. It's across the board. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. She ain't gonna share
Mm-mm.
no ice cream. She ain't gonna share that. She'll
My
dip you
mama,
some out and put you some on something. There you go.
yep. My mama was eating some ice cream, and I guess she had enough, and she said you can have the rest.
I don't want that. Oh,
I don't eat ice cream after nobody.
exactly, exactly.
No, we can't even eat out the same bowl. You know how you try to be romantic and you get your two
Yeah,
spoons? Nope.
yeah. Better have a whole lot of spoon because when you dip it that first time with that one spoon, you better throw that one away and get you another one.
You better separate it.
Cause you ain't double dipping with that same spoon. I don't want no more. I don't even think I want no more of that there. So, what's on your heart? Don't talk to me. Roaches or racism? And tell give me some reasons why.
Man, Tucson just did that. I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
He just did it, right?
But see, I need it from your perspective, though. I need it from your
Well,
perspective.
it's funny that he kind of did that because when you said that, I was thinking, well, you get rid of the roaches, you get rid of racism.
Lord.
I mean, because I was thinking of it in terms of those sorts of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, it's cool how he tied those two things together. But I mean, what a silly comparison you came up with, for real, dude.
It's good, though,
For
right? It's good. That's see, my mind work a little different. I come up with stuff that people ain't gonna think about. See, people ain't gonna think about that. But which one is harder to kill though? Because both of them are hard to kill. They've been certain individuals been trying to kill both of them for years. For years,
yeah, yeah.
been trying to kill
And,
racists. Go
look,
ahead.
you know what? It doesn't matter if you've got a purple person and you got a yellow person. Okay, they're gonna hate each other.
Yeah.
They're still going to be. It doesn't freaking matter what color, race, creed, background. It just doesn't matter. People are gonna hate on you for this reason or that. They're always gonna find something. Even if we all looked identical to each other,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
would still find a reason to hate on you, to be prejudiced against you.
Wow.
It's just not one of those things that's ever gonna die. Just like these dang roaches, they're gonna be here long after we are. So and I hate to say it, but that's probably the only way that you're gonna kill it
Mm-hmm.
is for all of us to just end,
Die
for
off.
us to no longer exist. Yeah,
And
and then the
then
roaches will still be roaming around. So
walking around eating on people.
doing whatever they do, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I really think that's the only way you're going to kill racism is to kill people.
Man, I'm gonna tell you.
I mean, for all of us to die out. Don't go around killing people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't want
Exactly.
anyone to get any idea in their head that that's what I meant. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just for us to completely die out. That's the only way it's going to die.
And then what's gonna stop it from I guess regurgitating. I guess I could say that. What's it to stop itself from regurgitating itself when other people come on the board, even if they all look alike? How will we stop it from coming back? Even at that point, everybody look the same. Everybody have the same complexion. Will there still be racism?
Well, like I said, there's always going to be a prejudice.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't even know if that would be racism. That would be, and I like how you did that. That would be prejudice. Um. Okay, that's one element of it. Now, how are we gonna get rid of the roaches?
I guess we're just going to have to wait for Jesus to come back and consolidate everything, make everything right.
Wow.
I don't know, man. Look, like Tucson said, even an atomic bomb can't kill these suckers. Okay, so they're going to be here long after everything else is dead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain. Just another beautiful day.
Good deal. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. Asking a question, man. We started off on a different kind of note this morning, a different kind of, totally different note. And I'm asking a question. I want to know from you, which is harder to get rid of? Which is harder to get rid of, racism or roaches?
It's a tie, like Don said. It's a tie. You got that echo. You got echo going on real bad.
Okay, let me see. Hold on, let me get this here. That should have got rid of it right there. Is it still there?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's the same, man. Well, we won't be able to get rid of racism, but we can get rid of the practice of using it as a weapon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We
But it.
definitely can solve that problem. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? The weaponization of racism.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is, I think I said before, and I might have sent it to you late last night, but I told you about these these black people from America that they went to Russia because they felt like they could find a better life.
Mm-hmm.
And Russia actually sent out an invitation to black Americans to be able to come to Russia and not have to deal with the racism of America. And at the same time, they knew that capitalism and industrialization was part of the reason, that racism existed. They understood how slavery was, capitalism and the whole system. And see, people around the world observed what was going on in America,
Mm-hmm.
but Americans only get Americans' version of how they wanted how they wanted to be perceived. You know what I'm saying? So the implementers and the receivers of it really don't understand the financial institution
Mm-hmm.
behind it
Mm-hmm.
and the weaponization, even though they experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, if you look at us, we sort of look sort of throw. It sort of look like, it's sort of an oxymoron for us to even want to succeed in this system of capitalism that wasn't meant for us. And that's what the Russians used as a selling point. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of black people went over there. This was in the 1920s. It was called the Red Experience or the Red Experiment. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
called the Red Experience. And most of those black people liked it
Mm.
until the United States ended that Western Bloc and had Germany dissolve. And when Reagan had Gorbachev to break down that wall
Yeah.
and open the door up for capitalism and Westernization,
Mm-hmm.
they also bought white male nationalism. And that's when Russell started seeing his first extreme signs of white nationalism after America and the United States got Gorbachev to knock that wall down.
Mm-hmm.
But before then, black people were actually, I'm going to say, praised. You
Wow.
know how we hear these stories of black soldiers saying, man, I went to Germany and they treated me like a king, and I
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
so-and-so, they treated me like a king, man. We go overseas and they treat us way better than they treat us in America.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying the same thing about Russia.
Wow.
And so I think I sent a small clip to you. I can't find the full documentary. I saw a full documentary on it way back. I would say about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I found another small um, portion of it. And Harry Belafonte, he's actually one of the producers of it. Y'all
Mm.
can go look it up yourself. I don't know if you can find the whole documentary, but these they're interviewing, they show clips from the first black people that went there and the movie clips that they had for the first black actor that was the main starring role.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked to the children and descendants of it, and you can hear it firsthand how much they feel like Russia is such a better place. And that's gonna hurt a lot of people that they like to say that, communism in Russia is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But they found a way to not weaponize racism. And that was the selling point, was that they knew that they could get these black people to come over and not only train them, because Russia needed to be industrialized.
Mm-hmm.
They were sort of in a stranglehold. So the black workers that was over here that wasn't getting respected was going to Russia and getting respected and teaching them how to work the machinery.
Mm-hmm. Wow. America has a way of always putting anything that is not American down. Why do you think let me go to Tucson. Tucson, why do you think that is? Why does America always have a tendency, if it's not American, if it's not on this soil, it's wrong, it's bad, it's terrible? Why is that?
Because they're like roaches.
Lord Jesus.
I mean, Lord have mercy. Um, you ever met a person that they like talking about other folks because let me just stop right there. They always bringing up something somebody else doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how the United States does. They call you they call last as long as the warranty.
Yeah.
Then when the warranty's up, the car start breaking. But you buy a foreign car, that joker is good for 1,000,000 miles if you take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Keep
You
running.
you got to go. Ain't that something? You got to go overseas to get a part for your American car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every time you turn around, um, they talking about some other country, but they the most messiest people. They always involved. This is the only country that want to police the
Yes,
world.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they're like people that always that has the biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you ever was on the job and you know the laziest person on the job or the most messiest person on the job always talking about they ain't doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
How you know? Because you ain't doing nothing.
Exactly. You right there, right along with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they operate. That's why. Because I don't know about nobody else. I wouldn't go nowhere else because I don't come from nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not the reason why I'm not going on no cruise or none of that kind of stuff because my family ain't gonna pay no ransom for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
You'll be stuck. You'll be stuck.
we're stuck like Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't going nowhere
Yeah.
else. That what I'm saying is, I'm not going nowhere else because this is a safe place for. It's getting dangerous, you know. You're killing people every day, but this the only place that I believe that I can survive.
Mm-hmm. There was actually what they call a mass killing happening here in Atlanta yesterday.
Ain't that
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
I was some young uh teenagers in the church that I met in Pearlington. They were right there when they went to a house party and two young men got into a phone call text conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one sent him the address, and he decided he was going to go to the address. On his way, he said, "You don't even know you're a dead man walking."
Mm.
He kept going, and he got there, and the man said, I don't really know the details of it, but he didn't survive it. He didn't survive that text conversation.
Mm. Wow.
So now we got kids that's traumatized
Mm-hmm.
behind that kind of. But what I'm saying is, this country is a mess, but I ain't going nowhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
But I think this is the worst country in the world.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Zamar, what do you say to that? America always has a tendency to want to put every other place down. Oh, we lost Zamari again. We lost her again. She may have some issues with a line this morning. Rico, what do you say to that, brother? Why do you think America is always trying to put other places down and make it seem as though they're the top tier of everything? They bad. They don't do this. They did. Why does America, in order to pick itself up, you got to put other places down?
To keep distracting the sheep and to
Wow.
justify their actions outside of the United States, you know what I'm saying, to feed us their narrative so we can always support it, like the weapons on mass destruction. Yeah, go knock Saddam Hussein off the map. Go get him.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to associate them with the 9/11, man. I mean, they did a lot of reaching to justify going to Iraq both times,
Yeah.
even when Bush one went. Oh man, so many different things, you know. Why do they want to make it seem like drugs are so bad when they already, well, later on admitted that the true intention behind the war on drugs wasn't what we told y'all, but it was
Mm-hmm.
really to get these black fathers out of the household and,
Yep.
and create a dynamic, another dynamic, just like what slavery did. Restrict y'all and no press y'all from access and exposure to things to help you progress properly in your community. We keep finding ways to do it, but we told y'all it was to say no to drugs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we was flying them over here
Yeah.
and we was putting it on the street dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Ross ain't never seen prices this cheap. Oh Lord, man, he thought it was like money was growing on trees. He said he
Mm-hmm.
felt like money was growing on trees.
Wow. Wow.
He had that bed. He had the plug, direct connect, good cocaine.
Mm.
Dear the United States. Frank Lucas.
Yep.
What
Yep.
does he call this? Blue Magic.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep.
Pure
Yeah.
uncut heroin, 100% pure,
Mm-hmm.
straight direct from Vietnam.
Yep.
Via the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll bring that heroin over here to you. Then it did it again. Went right to Afghanistan and did it again. And the people don't realize it. They have to wait till the media tells them, hey, heroin addiction didn't go up until after we went to Afghanistan. 1+1=2. Think about
Mm-hmm.
it, because we
Mm-hmm.
don't think. So they'll tell us anything, man. And so here it is. I don't figure it out after listening to these black people that live in Russia. You know what I'm saying? And talking to other people from China, you know, and seeing how that propaganda machine still works and all these other wars we don't went to. When I look at how the world had a conference on racism, America said, well, we'll come to it, but just don't bring up reparations for these black folks and don't bring up what Israel doing to the Palestinians. If you bring it up, we leave it.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, we ain't gonna even send y'all our best diplomats. We're gonna send you who we want to send. And even though y'all don't like who we sending, we're gonna even have them walk out, bring it up one time.
Yep.
But wait a minute, United States. We're talking about everybody on this continent, everybody on this planet. I'm gonna say impact,
Mm-hmm.
participation in racism and how to fix it. Well, you don't want to fix yours still, you don't want to acknowledge it. No, we out of here. Told y'all not to mention it.
Exactly.
So right about now, anybody that's dependent, I mean, not self-sufficient, not dependent. Anybody that isn't codependent on the United States, anybody that can function without his dollar, without his resources, the United States is going to vilify them because that new world order that George Bush talked about, that one world government, is going to come with a whole lot of one nation control of resources, one group control. And they want that. They want that in China. That's why you'll see Rockefeller sneaking over there, having meetings with with China before this last little foray we had with them. You know, at one time China was looked at it just like, oh man, this is barren. Y'all don't want to go there. It's dark and cold. Same thing with Russia. But just as soon as China said, well, you know what, we'll open up some opportunity for economy and trade. Well, since y'all want to do that, how about y'all build a coliseum and we'll let y'all host the Olympics and we'll come over there and tell everybody about the goodness of China. Ooh, y'all need to come to China and visit China. Such fantastic, beautiful sights. Come visit the Shaolin temples. Oh man, you'll feel safe and comfortable over here. It's a sight to see. And all of a sudden they seen China still went playing ball with them. Uh-oh, now they back on the ashes of evil.
Exactly. Wow. Ryan, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing. How you doing?
You're doing pretty good. Doing pretty dang on good. Pretty dang on good.
Good.
Got a
That's
question.
fine.
Yeah, mighty fine. Got a question for you.
Yeah.
What is harder to kill? Racism or roaches?
What's this, way out Wednesday on Thursday?
Come on. I throw you. I ain't throw a fastball. I throw an underhanded pitch. Knock it out the park. What you got?
He threw a curveball. It's gonna be roaches. Because you exterminate every person on the planet, roaches still gonna be here. Oh man, roaches been here since before us. They'll be here after us. They'll be eating us.
Good Lord. So roaches is harder to kill than racism. Racism been here for a long time too, brother.
Yeah, but it ain't been here since before people. When bugs been here a long time. You remember them prehistoric roaches now? Woo!
Them big ones.
Try to kill one of them.
It won't be a good fight for you. It won't be a good fight. So
no.
So you saying roaches?
Yeah, I'm saying roaches.
Okay. Let me go to Leonard. Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Testing you.
Testing.
How does it sound this morning, Raheem?
Excellent. Sounds perfect.
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man, I don't know what you did. Whatever you did, you fixed it though. That's it. Whatever you did, keep it just like that. I don't know what you did. But Leonard, which one is harder to get rid of, man? Is it racism or is it them little pesky roaches?
Well, you're not gonna get rid of roaches.
Good Lord.
Roaches are natural.
Racism
is not.
Okay, that's good.
So and roaches are only a problem for people because they're annoying. But roaches have a lot more enemies. Don't nobody like roaches. Still can't kill all of them.
Yeah.
But racism we can definitely do away with.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to get everybody on board. If people hated racism like they hated roaches,
Mm-hmm.
racism would be gone.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. How do we get everybody on board? How do we change the mindset and the heart of some people that love racism? Because some people out there really love the idea and what it is. So how do we get everybody on board?
Well, it's not much about people, what's going on in people's hearts. That's not the issue. Racism is a system of
Mm-hmm.
discrimination,
Mm-hmm.
and we must remove all incentive for it, and we must punish all actions that are racist.
Mm-hmm. So treat it as what it is, a crime.
Yes,
Wow,
yes,
good. That's good.
and I
How
think that's the best way to go, and we get into penalize those people who are using power that way to be racist. Remember, it's how you use the power.
yes, yes. Now, can we get some little smaller handcuffs for them roaches too, and convict them?
No, I just keep sweeping them away.
Oh, okay, okay. Good deal, brother Pete. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing well this morning, DKM radio, panel, family, radio audience, listening audience, you on the morning glow. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good.
Sound like
Doing
my brother Leonard had to get rid of his ugly natural voice and put on his beautiful radio voice. You just waking up this morning, Leonard.
All right, Pete.
And Pete, I gotta ask you this question, brother. Which is more?
Mm.
Which one is harder to get rid of? Which gonna become the hardest to get rid of? Is it the roaches or the racism?
I'm with Leonard. I think Roaches would be. I think Roaches been around longer than ever since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they built so stealthy until they could about withstand a nuclear blast. They'd still be walking around.
Mm.
Yeah. Racism, if we take the baseball bat of truth and load it up with the high caliber bullets of love and inject both of them constantly into those that suffer from the condition of racism,
Mm-hmm.
I think that we can deliver their dark, evil, wicked, wrong, confused souls
Mm-hmm.
and bring them into the light. How about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rico?
Yeah, man, I agree with what Ryan said, man. I was just taking the opportunity to kick racism in the butt a little bit, man. But it's logically true that Roach is gonna be here. I mean, if you ain't got no humans on the planet, then you can't have any racism.
Mm-hmm.
But I say this all the time, man. I done said this to groups of white people that after George Floyd died, and people came and wanted to with the olive branch, and I said, well, if you really want to solve this problem, how about let's start getting together talking about legislation to criminalize and punish the weaponization of racism? Because you can't criminalize somebody for the thought,
Mm-hmm.
but the act that really has an impact, you can criminalize somebody when you find out that racism was behind the reason. I mean, they already got laws in place for it with the EEOC, but they are not severe enough, and it mainly has to do with business. They even got hate crimes, still not severe enough. But you can definitely make specific laws that will criminalize the act of racism, that would deter policemen from being quiet when they know that other cops are targeting black people. They'll start volunteering to tell you, start prosecuting people for practicing it. And I guarantee you'll create an atmosphere where people don't want to participate in it because they're in fear of being associated with it as accomplices.
Yeah.
But I have got to counter what Leonard said though. Everybody don't hate roaches. Cause I've been in some situations in some places in some people's homes where they look like they kept them jokers like pets and they didn't say nothing. Them jokers crawled around in the daylight. Roaches normally run when you turn lights on.
Yeah.
Man, these didn't run. They come out while you play cards and they'll come across the table while you slapping the card. pow, they just come and crawl across the top of it. I'm like, nah, man, I don't think I want to play no more. I mean, when I say these people are like, they had them as pits, like they was like an ant farm for the house. Don't even, not just one little room for the roach farm. I mean, the whole house was a roach farm, and they
Good
just sat
Lord.
there like it wouldn't look. Man, the man was playing cards and one crawled on them.
Good Lord.
I'm just looking at him. I'm like, man, he wrote the crawling on them, and they still ain't doing nothing. I'm like, man, get me out of here.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, I was at this. Well, my cousin took me over to this. We was in Greensboro, North Carolina, and went over to these girls' house one evening, man. And we were sitting around looking at TV, trying to, settle, you know what I'm talking about. But this girl had roaches so bad, man. The roaches would bite you. I ain't never seen no roaches bite nobody, man. They roaches, we sitting there, hey, what the? And my cousin, he knew because he had been there before. He brought us there, and so he knew the situation. I was like, man, man, I got to go, bro. I can't, I don't care who these girls are, man. I can't stay here, man. These roaches biting me, man. And every time somebody would pop one of the roaches, my cousin would laugh because he know what the situation is. And I told him, I said, man, you got to be just as nasty as they is, man, to even want to go there and bring us there, man. You filthy too. I said, you filthy too. But if he listening, excuse me, I ain't mean to put you in. I ain't call your name, but you know who I'm talking about. Zamari, talk to me, sis.
I have never in my life heard about a roach biting.
Yeah, these roaches.
Those got to be some super roaches or something. Like what?
Yeah,
biting roach? No, roaches. That's one of those bugs that literally make my skin crawl.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand those little evil things. Like, ugh, no. They are so disgusting. They are so nasty.
Nasty. Yeah, yep. Very nasty. Absolutely.
And then they have a smell to them too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you have enough of them in your house, there's an odor.
Yep.
And you can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the nastiest thing. Why would how are you going to live like that? Why do you want to live like that? Why are you okay with it? You got to sleep in the same house that they might be crawling in your ears, your nose, your mouth. No.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's nope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do bugs.
And that's exactly what it is, man. They're all over the place. And man, you go in somebody's kitchen, you turn a light on in the middle of the night. Boy, you think the floor and the walls is brown.
Now, what's worse is when you go to open a bag of chips.
Oh Lord!
And you get a handful of them.
Lord,
that's what's worse because you're sitting there munching, and then you just happen to look in the bag. You're like, oh no! And then you think to yourself, well, how many did I just eat?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Did I eat? Did I eat? Oh Lord, Jesus! Tucson, talk to me, brother.
That's too much information. Lord have mercy. No, the Rico was talking about like it sounded like he was saying the roach was like deal me a hand.
Exactly. Be it two, brother. Be it two. Just be it two. Don't be it three. You ain't got no possible. Go ahead.
But the thing about it is, and I still say that, you can exterminate them jokers, and they'll come back next year.
Mm.
Racism too.
Mm.
We've been fighting this fight. How long? When did it start? I wondered. I don't know even if I don't know what was Cain and Abel's problem. Was it just jealousy of each other, or I don't know. But I know that racism or prejudice, is it even the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
But I still think I don't know. Do we even know the root of it?
No.
Anybody know the root of racism?
Yes, the root of racism was created to separate and divide
by
the dominating class.
I think he's asking, where did it start? Does anyone know where it originated from?
That's where it started.
That's his answer. I mean, I think, but by, and I say by, And who is that? Who are they?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you exterminate to get rid of? Because people, we march together, we sing kumbaya together, and it pops right back up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we integrate our schools and churches and everything else, and even in our religious sect, they got some churches you better not
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
Service over.
Music stopping everything.
And ringing it. Wait a minute. Let me get on the camera right here. I wish I should go get my keyboard so I could really act it
Uh-oh.
out. I could see the musician and the preacher just a preaching. Ringing in the sheen, ringing in,
Mm-hmm.
in the sheen. And the Lord is love everybody. And grandma is looking.
Mm-hmm. The whispering.
And
The
somebody
whispering.
you ever saw somebody grab their child when you was walking by? Like you finna do that child
Mm-hmm.
something?
Mm-hmm.
You can take me off the screen again. I just wanted to say it because
Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean the we could talk about I love God and He wants you to love everybody and this Bible is true and I believe every word and we should be hearers and doers of His word. But I don't like that joker right
Mm-hmm.
there and I hate that
Mm-hmm.
sucker. Them people,
Yeah.
them people,
Them there.
them over there,
Mm-hmm.
and both of us call them, and they are
Mm-hmm.
us because we're human beings.
I think that's what Tomahawk said. Racism started right there, Tucson.
Wait, okay.
See it on the screen. He's
Esau and
yeah.
Jacob. Okay, yeah, I can agree. I can agree with that. I'm almost just about can agree with that because you got two nations that warring from the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning in the womb
Yeah.
fighting. Well, that's a fight,
Mm-hmm.
and it was even and it's still going on
Yeah.
now. And you try to and then don't get it don't iterate don't put in the Samaritans because they are mixed breed
Mm-hmm.
and they worse than Esau and Jacob.
Mm.
So I mean I can agree with that, but it's what here's the deal about that, and I'll shut up. They got the same
Yes, sir.
father.
Yep. Yep.
They got the same blood
Mm-hmm.
running through their
Yep.
veins.
Exactly.
Ain't that something?
Exactly.
And they can't stand each
Hate
other.
each other. Mm.
Yeah, but they did come to an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just say that and
Okay.
shut up.
Okay. Good deal. Let me go. Let me go to Badger. Badger. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings to you, brother. We asking a question. What is harder to get rid of, racism or roaches?
Mm, that's a question.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
I'd say roaches,
Mm-hmm. Why you say?
because because the roaches in Japan survived the nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm.
You can get rid of racists with a nuclear bomb.
Too legit. Too legit to quit. Uh-huh. Too legit. Too legit to quit. Uh-huh.
Oh Lord.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Go.
so it's roaches survive a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to remember. I was just sitting here thinking, if we weren't, if human beings weren't supposed to event have evil in our in being human, or make mistakes and different things like that. Why in the world does the seven deadly sins exist? Why have they always been there? Why did Cain and Abel fight each other over lust for a woman and kill the other?
That's to me, and this is just me talking. That's almost like having if you buy a computer, you want everything to work perfectly, you want it to be fine, but they have troubleshooting. They have a thing in the back in your manual, label, in your manual book, or whatever you want to call it, book, whatever you call it, your manual, troubleshooting. In case something were to happen, in case something were to go wrong, you got, if this happened, you do this. If this happened, you do this. It's they have a place in the back called troubleshooting. Now you want it to be perfect. You want everything to work perfect. You want your brand new computer to be seamless. But just in case something were to happen, this how you troubleshoot it right here. This is how you fix it and get it back on course. That's the way I take that. But let me go to Ryan. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? No, go ahead. Brad, you got something else on your heart?
Oh, it's just kind of a interesting topic, trying to compare racists to roaches. Roaches do what they're designed to do. Racists don't.
Okay.
Well, that's another debate.
Yeah, it is, because racists do what they think they want to do. It's just how we react to it, and life ain't always based on what happened to you. It's how you react to it, and that's the part that people have an issue with sometimes. How you react to it. Let me go to Ryan. What's on your heart, brother?
Question.
Well, to go with Badger, racists and roaches have a lot in common. They find their way into everything, every society, and it's hard to exterminate.
Yeah.
So if you want to make the comparison, there's your comparison. They both nasty. They both ugly. Don't nobody really like them except for themselves, and they're infiltrators.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean that's the comparison right there. And yeah, roaches is a different. You got different breeds. You got ones that bite. You got ones that hiss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got ones that like to get locked up in cages at the zoo and scream at you.
Lord, here we go. He taking a turn now. He taking a turn. He was doing good. He was doing good. He was doing good. That joker done took.
I gotta be crazy too sometimes. I gotta have fun.
There you go. Let me go to let me go to Pete. Pete, talk to me, brother. The roaches or racism?
I'm still saying roaches. Will be harder to get rid of. Racism is a delusional, misled, misinformed, superficial position.
Why do they not feel as though they are misinformed? Why do they not feel as though they are? Because they feel that a racist think he's right, or she think they're right. They think they're right.
Right.
Yeah, they really do. Why?
Right. Based on what?
Their ideas of what it should
be.
Your
personal opinion.
Exactly.
Right. Your idea.
Yeah.
Some cartoonistic reality you created last night.
Come on.
And then formed a foundation in opinion and facts in your mind, in your undeveloped mind.
Yeah.
And now this is the truth. I mean, we can deal with the my truth concept. Got it. But my point is, take the most racist people you have and stick them in a room and lock them in there together. And come back and check on them in 10 years and see how well they function together. Let's stop playing with the adage toward racism. I just don't like you because, right? First of all, none of us had anything to do with how all of us were created.
Yeah.
Any of us were created. So anybody that has a problem with somebody just because they look or are created the way they are, listen, it's a place called hell, and make it your home. And hopefully it's someplace worse for you, right? That's how ignorant and repulsive that type of mentality is. And at this point, the greatest society, that those out here in this whole world, mentality toward racism should be to kill it everywhere they find it. As soon as it shows up, eradicate it on the spot, whether it be you, in you, with you, on you, whatever, around you. Better get it together. You might not be around here no more because you just didn't even tolerate that. That don't even make sense. So you don't like all the people that are born with some form of the I'm trying to look for the right word. I don't want to be offensive, but like the mongoloid children, the children that have the lacking of development, or they have a skin pigment. What the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You walking around telling me I don't like you because, you know what? Don't none of us like you because. So we're gonna get rid of you today. We're gonna get rid of that. We ain't gonna talk that right there. We ain't gonna have that no more. How about that? How about we be racist against racists and kill it everywhere we find it? How about that? Let's see how popular racism will be tomorrow.
Would that get rid of roaches too?
Roaches still gonna be walking around. Roaches gonna be down there in the ground feasting on probably some of the flesh in the ground that had racism in it. But the roaches gonna be around. But the roaches of racism,
come on,
we can eradicate.
Exactly. That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
Well, I don't necessarily want to talk about roaches.
Well, we got to figure out, man. We trying to get to a certain point, and we're gonna switch up in a minute.
I prefer roaches to racism.
Wow.
I would rather live with roaches than racists. I just despise that fact of racism. That's why I do what I do, and I'm a part of organizations that I'm part of to try to eradicate racism. I would love to wake up one day and all the racists be dead.
What you gonna do with all them bodies, Leonard?
We just burn them, sweep them into a pile and burn them.
Lord Jesus. So you
that's how I feel about racists. Anybody, like Pete was saying.
So you can have a mass cremation.
Yeah, matter of fact, we can have barbecue and do all that.
Now ain't gonna be no barbecue in there. Ain't no barbecue.
You know what I'm saying? But racists must go. And the reason why we still have this problem is because there are still people that support racism.
On all different levels, though. That's the thing.
On all different levels. You have to stop electing them and giving them the power to continue racism. Issues that related to after Reconstruction. All the mistakes made during then. We had a whole war behind it. At least we should have stopped it, curbed it, at least a little bit more than we did. But now we're looking at the results of still allowing racist control. So as long as you have racist people in positions of power, you will have racism.
Wow. Zamari, what do you say to that?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you say sorry to that?
No, I mean like sorry, like what part? What part am I commenting on? Exactly. He said a lot.
The part about getting rid of racism and what's the course that we need to do in order to get rid of racism, and to include getting all those racist individuals voted out of power, because there's a lot of racists in power.
Listen, you can do everything that you can come up with to do to try to get a handle on something like that. But you know what? They're undercover too. They're undercover too. They'll sit there and say all the pretty words and smile nice and play the part, but behind closed doors, you can't control what they're saying. or how they really feel. You know, there's politicians now that do that. They play the game.
Yeah.
And then behind closed doors, they get caught on tape, with a microphone in their room, whatever, saying, speaking racial slurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It still happens. So how are you going to kill it? Man, this thing ain't going nowhere. As sad as that is to say, it doesn't matter what you do, how many different things you put into place to try to squash it. It's like because we've talked about this before, Raheen, and my answer is this: it's going to be the same. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get worse until the coming of Jesus.
And how sad is that, though? How sad if that's
awfully
reality?
sad. It's absolutely terribly sad. It's awful.
But we got it
because
nailed down, right?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I thought you had finished. Go ahead.
Oh no, I it's just if you traced all of our lineages back, we're all the same freaking people. Every single one of us. We started in the same place. All of our forefathers back in those biblical times, they're all the same. It's just, we're not any different. We're not. And I wish people could get that. I wish people could understand that, but it ain't good. I don't see it happening until the coming of Jesus.
Raheem.
Yes.
And we're not going to be so hopeless because we have racism narrowed down.
To what?
White folks.
Wow.
And what we're not going to do is pretend like there's no antidote for this problem. There is an answer and an antidote to this problem. The problem is too many people support racism. Everybody don't disagree with racism. Half of America still would support it. So we have a ways to go. And we have to work on it as we see it, not come up with these wild imaginations and making up all these weird stories and all this come to Jesus. No, we need to go after racists and remove them and destroy them. Period. That's what we need to do.
Excuse me.
And when you see it, you can't act like you don't see it.
But Leonard, I like to deal with both sides of the coin, and I like to put a certain amount of clarity out there for the people that's listening in, or to the audience as well. Now, you said you have it narrowed down, and you said to white people, and at one point you said to get rid of all the races, which from what you just said, narrowed down is white people. So are you saying go out there and kill the white people?
No, I didn't say that. That's what you said.
I'm
I
trying
said go after racist.
What you said was white people.
White racist.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with that at all.
Okay.
Because they're the ones that are constantly pushing to keep white supremacy in place. Where all these black folks that support it? Where they at? Where the Mexicans that support it? See, you can come from all different colors. If you support white superiority, you are my enemy.
Okay. So all of them got to go.
Anybody that supports it, I don't care for none of you.
Okay. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Well, there are some people that look just like me.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly where I was going to, son. Absolutely.
That support it too. I'm gonna just say it like that.
So watch this. So Leonard kill them too, right?
Who, Raheem?
He said Leonard on fire this morning. Tucson said that there's some people that look just like you and I that supported as well. They got to die too.
Do they support white superiority?
Yeah.
Okay, fill in the blanks.
Okay. I'll just make it clear.
Well, I'm just saying. I believe that. I believe that there are some people that just look just like me that support racism. And then not only within, see, because the most of the time, and I said this before, the time we think that racism, when you think of what racism, especially in America, you think white, black.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many other types of racism. Well, I guess it's prejudices. It's prejudices. I want to ask a question because Badger said
Mm.
something that kind of puzzles
Okay.
me. The Cain and Abel uh um killing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was behind no woman.
Mm.
Is that what I heard, or did I hear
It
something else?
came it came from the Book of Jubilee translation. There's two different versions. There's one that says it's
Oh,
over uh God didn't find Cain's sacrifice enough and found Abel's good enough. And then there's the other version of he was jealous of Abel and was going to have to deal with getting the ugly sister. And
I thought what was that? Leah and Rachel was one of the ugly sisters.
I'd have to go
I'm
look
just
up
saying.
the name.
But I don't want. Anyway, I'm gonna go back. Matter of fact, I got the book of Jubilee open right now, so I'm gonna search it out.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, um, but see, jealousy and prejudices is that no is that an ingredients of racism,
Mm.
or
Ooh,
is
that's
it
good.
something that they build on to make race to create is racism create is something created or taught? I believe it is
Mm-hmm.
because it just don't pop
Yeah.
up. Somebody that's a learned
Mm-hmm.
behavior because sooner or later you can do whatever you want to and it just pops up. And I'm glad you referred to it or compared it to roaches because they act just
Yes.
alike.
Yes.
They got the same behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll survive atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
You kill it to the core. You set them all in the same room and you cut their throat.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have said that.
You said it, brother.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't get them all, remember when Samuel told Saul to kill all of
Mm-hmm.
them. And then he comes back and he said, I hear livestock. See, what happens is we see the benefits of what some have acquired, and we try to save that and we keep it
Mm-hmm.
going. That's why I say some of us, some people look just like us. They like it because they think that's it's a you it's a there's a it has a
Mm-hmm.
value. See, the root of evil is money. Money is the root of evil. And racism has a financial gain. I'm gonna just throw that out there,
Mm.
and I can be right or
Yeah.
wrong, and I'm gonna leave it
Good
right
deal.
there.
Rico, talk to me, brother.
You did that perfectly, man, because Donald went exactly where I was going. You know, I was thinking myself, before I had finished speaking the last time, I was going in this direction. And Ryan came in and said it too. The
Mm-hmm.
roaches always find their way in,
Yep.
find their way in. Racism. It always finds a way in. It found its way into Russia. It's gonna hurt
Mm-hmm.
some people's ears to hear that. But it found its way into Russia after Reagan asked Gorbachev to bring that wall down.
Mm-hmm.
They had a huge influx of white nationalism. Oh man, we ain't gonna start talking about Ukraine. They had a big influx of it too. But that's the part about the media that they ain't gonna tell us about. But I was thinking about how sometimes black people can be a part of it because this is the real elephant in the room. White superiority was very profitable.
Yes.
And it was necessary because it creates an advantage. And if anybody needs an advantage in survival, they create it because they need it.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. That's the logic behind it. We need to be able to create an advantage for my people, because if we don't have an advantage, we might not be able to compete. Or you might even just create a system of competition with people that ain't competing with you, but you just greedy. You like to colonize and conquer. Like to just travel around the world and occupy and invade. Because you got a different mindset than these peaceful people that ain't thinking, they're not thinking about competition. They just thinking about unifying, meeting people and loving life. But they got what you want. And you ain't got the things that they have. So I need an advantage. How? Let's come up with these guns and go to other countries and create these weapons and just create chaos and destruction and aggression. We don't want them to trade with us in a fair way because they ain't giving us enough. And what they got, we want more of it. So we need an advantage. But I think about that superiority. There's an advantage in that. There's a benefit to white superiority. It was profitable. America wouldn't be what it was if it weren't for white superiority. Am I lying? It was built off the backs of slavery, off of oppression, off of the oppression of rights, unfair treatment. You know, that's what made America what it is. White supremacy. Now black people want to survive in it because the American dream was to succeed in this white supremacy society. Black people want to survive in it. So I go back to thinking about some of those people that got roaches and they act like they keeping them as pets. I was over somebody's house one time, man, and we was looking at it may have been a mud deal play. I can't remember what it was. This was during the time they had the big box screen TV, the box big screen TV. And then we sitting there looking at it. I knew I had seen this movie before, but for some reason over these people's house, they had a special guest star. A roach was up inside the TV, and it crawled up behind the screen.
Wow.
And just danced and played. While we watched the movie, you could see the bottom side of the roach.
Wow.
Crawling inside the big screen TV. And I'm sitting there looking at everybody like, man, y'all don't see this? This ain't aggravating y'all? Everybody just sitting there laughing, just laughing, having a good time. They ain't even paying attention to it like it's normal to them. I get it. It was normal to them, but it wasn't normal to me. And so I was like, okay, they ignoring it, just like how sometimes we ignore racism.
Yep.
So they the same. They work just alike. You know what I'm saying? And then the people that observe it. So like I said, everybody don't hate it. Some people say if you can't beat them, join them because it ain't going nowhere. But at the same time, if they actually paid attention to Russia and China, some of these other places that they heard was so terrible, they may find out it can go somewhere because it didn't get introduced to Russia until they let the wall down under the influence of the big West.
Wow. And that's the sad part of it right there, what you just said, Rico, because a lot of people, a large amount of people embrace it. And they don't want, I ain't gonna say they don't want it to go anywhere, but they've become a little comfortable in it being here. Not that they want it here, but they've become a little comfortable with it being here. Pete, what's on your heart, brother?
Exactly where we are. Now you're getting down to where the rubber meets the road. I've been looking at communications out of Africa and how the African leadership and youth are rejecting Europe and America directly. Their colonialist systems and how it has devastated the continent simply because they want to take their resources. Exactly what our dear brothers were just expressing. And that is a great power and motivation for this system called racism. The desire to have power and wealth and to have what you have and control it. And then create a system that subjugates you, keeps you in a weak, vulnerable position. So that is exactly the motivation for present live today racism in the world. And in this country, we keep saying it. It's these old Caucasian males that are the problem the main problem with the dysfunction in this society. It comes directly from them. There's just no denying it. It's directly them. They want to own everything. They want to control everything. They don't want anybody to be at their level, their status. You know, that's the problem. Now, when it comes to these melanated folk, what I affectionately call cockroach Negro leadership, or any of these individuals that look like us, that want to acclimate and agree and go along and, work to benefit in any small or way possible through that system, all of them are committing what's called treason. And they should immediately receive death. We should kill them all. Understand what I'm saying, and don't misunderstand nothing. If you are a melanated person and you are working against the advancement of your people up under the system of racism, and you are supporting white male elitism in this country, death looks excellent on you. May death visit you today and your entire family. Everything in association with you need to be gone by the close of business today. Yes.
Wow.
But that is the problem. That is the problem in this country. And we're not trying to attack anybody, anything. Just tell the truth. Just say it like it is. If it's a hard truth, swallow it. Get a little water and be a little easier.
What do you do,
Put
Pete?
some lemon in it.
What do you do, Pete, to the people that look like you and I, that's also supporting that same system? What do you do to them?
Maybe you didn't just hear me.
I heard exactly what you said.
Cut their heads off, blow their brains out, electrocute them, inject them with a death cocktail. Get rid of them. Take their lives away from them and remove them.
Wow.
For you to be supporting a system that is detrimental to your very existence and in your own personal, and you're supporting that, you're not worthy of life. You have disqualified yourself to no longer exist.
Wow.
In this form.
Stay right there. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Supremacy. One group of people over another. It's been around a long time.
Do you think the punishment for that should be death?
I don't know. I am not God. I know it absolutely. Trying to make sure I don't use no cuss words. It sucks having to deal with it because it affects everybody.
But is death the solution?
I'm not God.
I'm not asking you to be God, brother. I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm telling you, I'm not going to answer it because I'm not God. That is too high of a judgment for me as a human to put on another human.
Wow.
The only time I will make a judgment is if it's child abuse, rape, the people that did do those, but just because the person is racist,
is that even the categories you just said that you will put judgment on, is that still not judgment?
God already put judgment on that.
No, you're not answering my question, brother. You're not answering my question. You said you would not judge them because we're talking about racism, but when you talk about pedophilia or different categories, you will be the judge in regards to that. So what's the difference? You're still judging. You're just being very selective as to what you're being a judge on, or in what category you're being a judge on. But that don't change.
There are things about my spirituality that you don't like, right?
No, your spirituality is yours. I ain't got nothing to do with your spirituality, brother. No. I
So
never
if the
said that to
racist
you.
person is being racist and isn't making policies, he can be racist over there on his yard. And that's where it stays. In his house, his yard. Not affecting everyone else's house.
Okay.
You get where I'm going?
I do, but and I also understand that you're not gonna answer my question, so I'm gonna move on to somebody else. Ryan, what do you say to that, brother? Does it warrant death?
I believe that it probably does. I agree with Badger. If it's a person, you can't tell people what to think. And
Mm-hmm.
even if that person walks around all day, smiling, shaking your hand, patting you on the back, whatever, they can still have thoughts that you don't know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but something he just said, some Badger just said, stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
God already made judgments on those certain things he was talking about, but he
Mm-hmm.
never made a judgment on the people that were oppressing other people in the Bible.
Mm. I don't know
That's
about
not
that, bro.
that, huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point. I don't
What'd
know.
you say?
I say I don't know about that, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know about that neither. I'm pretty sure most of those oppressive nations got dealt with. They never got eradicated, but
Mm-hmm.
they got dealt with in some way, shape, or form,
Exactly.
whether it be plagues or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that calls into question: how did we get so far deep into this that it's been let go? There's no more plagues dealing with the wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you're asking if it's a death sentence. So are we being left up to our own devices to deal with these problems now because he's tired of it?
Mm.
It's a good question. I
It is.
think I know you the question asker, but that's what I'm left with after what Badger said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm left with. Is it left up to us now to be the judge, jury, and executioner on these specific topics? Because
Mm-hmm.
if so, all of these big folks out there who try to limit the world's population, like Bill Gates, they'll be happy to let us run around and kill people. But
Mm-hmm.
then it'll turn into the Salem witch trials all over again. You're going to see a white person and automatically say, hey, that guy's racist, kill him too.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we find
I
the
think
limitation on that?
I think what they're speaking of, Leonard and Pete. I think what they're speaking. I'm gonna go to them and let them speak for themselves. But what I think they're speaking about is the people that perform the acts of racism, and so
I think they're talking about the system.
well, but see, my thing is, if you perform a certain act, then that I think that's what they're talking about. Even across the board, or who look, no matter what you look like, if you're supporting that system of racism, to your point, that system of racism that they're speaking of, then you should be taken out. I'm gonna use one of the big fancy words, but taken out. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I think people should first of all, it's because this is a Christian-based radio station.
Yes.
You stop making assumptions about the Bible and using them to make a point unless you know chapter and verse and can expound on what you are talking about.
Mm.
You don't make assumptions. You go read it and you state what it says because it will defend itself if it needs to. So we shouldn't get into certain things I don't believe because you just go in a circle. But if you don't have a problem with racism, I have a problem with you. And we will always have this. I don't care what you do in your house. I don't care about how you feel about anything. But you need to be out of power, period, where you cannot allow those racist beliefs to become policy and oppress other people. You can't, jump in and out the way some people choose to. All you have to do is not be racist. Do that. Just don't be racist. White folks have no reason to worry about anything if they're not racist. Now, I don't know about being white. I don't know if some of you just can't help it. But I know a lot of white people who are not racist. And they are great, awesome people. And half of them have been fighting this fight with us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not act like we're not going to be able to point out the racists. We know who they are. But people keep supporting that point of view. One thing about me or Pete, I can clear it up for you. And how you keep mixing it up is your business. You can mix it up how you want to. You know if you racist or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you've done. Matter of fact, half of people on paper for committing racist acts. We have amendments that are racist that we had to change. We have police officers that we're pursuing right now because of racist acts. Politicians, people who have the ability to oppress you and who would use racism as a tool to do that. So let's not get drift off into all this other stuff. It's racism that we're supposed to be. I thought we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Okay, so if you don't know what it is, go find out and then come back. But don't try to change the definition and work it out for yourselves so it make you feel better. That's the problem.
Samari?
Yes.
Yes. Talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
I don't even know. I hate this subject, man, because people get so heated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and I get it, right? You know, don't misconstrue that. Like, I understand why it gets so heated, but it just breaks my heart, you know, because at the end of the day, man, I just want to love people. And I'm just so not that y'all ain't sick of it too, right? But it's just I'm just so sick of it. I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because it shouldn't be about that. We're in 2023, for crying out loud. It shouldn't be this anymore.
Yeah.
There are other things that should be anyway so much more important than the color of somebody's dang skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
how do let me ask you this, Zamar. How and you're absolutely right. There's so many other things, but how do we get to those things unless or until we get over this hurdle and do away with this racist thing where people just looking at each other totally based on the color of their skin or whatever their race is against? How do we get to those things if we don't first get rid of this?
man, if I had the answer to that, I'd be the queen of the universe. I mean, you know, any one of us would be.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be the queen of the universe now. I
No,
would
you wouldn't be the queen, you'd be the king, you know, but I'm just saying, like, any one of us would be in that higher position like that. If we could solve all of the world's problems, that being at the top of the list, hunger, third world countries, pollution, all of that would be resolved. But I just don't know. You know, we can sit here and we can talk and we can talk and we can talk until we're blue in the face about this thing. But you know, who is that? I think that's Leonard. But he's right. He's absolutely right in saying until people start going and getting, you know, talking to legislation or seeing what can be done to curb this. But honestly, how are you going to tell a man or a woman what they can and cannot do within the confines of their own home? And that's the issue. Because even behind closed doors, they can still hate. And guess what? They're having children who are being raised up in that hatefulness, where they're learning to hate other people, to be prejudiced against other people. And then guess what? They're going out. Their children are going out and displaying that same behavior. It's a vicious cycle. And I wish I knew how to squash this. I wish I had the answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is legislation going to, if we, and I don't know, but even if we were to put all of these different things in place for this, and this, and the other thing, all to, in an attempt to rid the world of prejudices and racism, but to what end?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna read something, and I'm gonna go. As a matter of fact, Rico, I'm gonna come to you after I read this. It's a little lengthy, but I'm gonna read it. It's Paleo. I hope I'm saying your name right, Paleo. From LinkedIn. Yeah, I think no Twitch.
Twitch.
Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. He says this, and get myself organized here. He said, I'm from the south of the UK. Never really saw racism around me, but it's still a massive problem here. I was coming home from a soccer game with my friend Amar, who is English and Bengali, I guess is how they pronounce them, parents. As we got off the train, he was racially abused and compared to Gandhi for no reason. I called it out instantly and told the aggressors to shut up and sort their lives out. Calling out constantly whenever it's seen is the only real way to stop it currently. Rico, what do you say to that? He or she, I don't know whether male or female, but say they it happened to a friend of theirs and they stood up and called it out at the time that it happened.
That's it. That's how you stop it. You call it out, and then and that's gonna take some people calling out their friends and family members.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people ain't gonna know it's racism. So when you hear black people talk about it, it can't be your place to tell them how they feel or how they should receive it. You should be able to call it out when they say it. If you got family members, like Ryan got family members that's mixed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're gonna bring up some issues that the rest of his family might not just be able to understand, but they're gonna have to listen to these people because their experience is totally different. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to call it out when it's pointed out, address it, and then when it's extreme, when it has a physical impact, you prosecute, criminalize to the full extent. Listen, America went to Iraq and got Saddam Hussein and his sons and killed them.
Mm-hmm.
They claim they killed Osama bin Laden, but then they let everybody on Epstein list off. Ain't nobody went to jail that was on that list yet, and they've been proven to be participating with pedophilia. See, people don't like to hold certain people accountable because they relate to these people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't prosecute somebody for a racist thought, but see, the act that actually has an impact that can traumatize, to rip somebody apart by a horse or to book break their dad or whatever the new form of it is, that can actually have an impact on somebody to where when they go home at night, they can't sleep. They go home at night and they can't talk to the children because they were disrespected at work, and it's harming their mindset, and they can't get along at home, and then they can't even provide for their family because somebody been preventing them from excelling.
Mm-hmm.
Prosecute these people. Start killing these people.
Wow.
Oh, if we listen, if we can, and that would depend on how extreme the crime is, the act of racism is. Somebody like Dylan Roof, the one that went up in the church and killed all them people.
Yeah.
In Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, Charleston. Mm-hmm.
He should be dead now. In a public display, the way they used to do it back in the day. Sell tickets, put them in the middle of an arena. And let him say what he want to say and do what he want to do. Let him rant and go out and say everything about black people he want to say. And then kill him in the most torturous way, horrific way possible. So you can leave an example of what will happen to people that wants to do this to other human beings. Because, we just can't keep ignoring it. If we'll go and kill people for molesting children, raping women, well, some of that raping children and molesting children and raping women went on behind racism. It was only done because they were black. Let me just take advantage of them. So, I really do think in the process of the order of our society, there are some situations where we do have to take the power into our own hands to dictate whether somebody should live or not.
Mm.
We should have the power to dictate whether or not Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer should live or not. If those people have no regard for life and they have a motivation to destroy life, they gotta go.
Wow. Toussaint, I hear what everybody's saying, but I need to ask you this question. In a roundabout way, are we becoming the very thing that we hate when we say that we want to kill people for being racist? Are we becoming the very thing that we hate in saying that? Because that could be a innocent person or I'm not gonna say a person that's nonviolent could look at that as being very savage. To say we're just gonna kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them. What do you say to that, Toussaint?
Hey, well, put a disclaimer. I ain't saying them. I said the ones that act in racism, the ones that
absolutely.
I ain't just think people gonna think what they want to think.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm talking about the violent, aggressive ones now. So I don't want to be associated with that you're saying right now.
Got you. Good deal. Toussaint, talk to me. Toussaint and that doggone mute button. It's right there, Toussaint. Right there. Push that button.
Is that it right there?
That's it right there. That's the one I was telling you about. Yeah, that's it.
Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Well, if you miss the seed, you miss the whole thing. Wait, let me. Is my volume down?
No, we hear you. You good? Go.
Okay, because I turned it down on your part because I was multitasking even now. But you asked Samari a question if she could, if she was able to rid us of racism, come up with a solution. She probably could, and I said it in the chat. She probably would know how to rid ourselves of roaches. Because they carry a disease too.
Yeah,
it's a disease. Yeah, it's a foul, dirty, filthy, nasty thing that goes around everywhere they go. They poop all over the place, and that's what racism does. Guy in UK, at one point we would think here. Man, I remember that, Rico, when they said, man, the place to go is Germany, man. They treat you good there. Man, there's a black person. Wow. Darn, boy. I wish I could say what I wanted to say.
Don't say it. Because if you hesitate like that, don't say it.
No, that would be good. But it's in my mind.
Is there a level of savagery in saying kill them?
Would that make us? Well, I think that I made a point about where Samuel was told Saul to kill all of them. Kill them all. Yeah. Just kill them all. Don't leave. Matter of fact, kill their livestock and everything to rid yourself of the foul of their very existence. That's what the type of people. I don't know if it was the Akins. I don't know. I don't even try to. I forgot. Anyway, I'm not trying to even think about who it is. But it's just like those people that we talk about on both sides of. See, the thing about that's just me, Raheem. On both sides of the table, because there are some people that benefit from it.
Yeah.
Under the table.
Yeah.
I look at it on the job. You say, well, people can talk about what they want to at their house. Well, they show up at the job. They're not in politics. They don't make no laws, but they become management. They become police officers. Do you know that there are some people, and I'm just saying, if racism is so dangerous the way that it is, you know that there are some doctors that kill their patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are people that are funeral directors that gut people out and sell their body parts. They don't want you to sit at the table, but they sure want your heart and your organs.
Wow.
So this racism and roaches, I think this is a good conversation, but I tell you what, this is just me. And I'm going to ask an open question. I know you're the question axer. But I know in our Christian realm, my best guess better go to somebody else that's not necessarily Christian realm. Can you love the hell out of people?
Hey! Yeah, I understand what you said. Badger, you wanted to say something, brother?
Yeah, I wanted to finish answering the question.
Before you do that, Badger, let me read what the next thing that our friend on Twitch said.
Hmm.
Taking a stance. Oh, somebody's actually typing at the same time, messing my screen up. Okay, taking a stance of saying we are going to kill racist people will fuel their stance. It has to be done in as a re-education strategy, back with legislation and consistent calling out by the majority. Go ahead, Badger.
That's what I was eventually going to get into were when you were gonna when you were asking me if I think
Mm-hmm.
they should be killed
Mm-hmm.
because roaches are here for a purpose. So they serve their purpose by their design. Now, when we get into the racism, this is a system that has been used to cause division and separation for hundreds, at least 1,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
because it started from England and came this way. Um, and unfortunately, we're in a situation where it's not taught of the systematic tools that have been used to cause divisions. We look at news media, and I remember you see more bad things happening than you do good.
Mm-hmm.
They don't uplift the ones that are the different people across the board of winning a Nobel Prize, designing something, creating something, making a difference. They show riots. They show um, a white cop killing a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
They show, black on black crime. They show all this negative crap all the time, which feeds this narrative that they push of racism
Mm-hmm.
to cause us to have these biases against a group of people. So they're educating us to think a certain way,
They're programming our mind, basically.
doing their best to brainwash.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, if you meet that type of aggression with aggression, every time I've seen that in history, it makes things worse.
Mm-hmm. So killing them is not an answer.
I don't think it is,
Mm.
because I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't racist, they're biased because they fell for the trap. They're concerned, they're worried. Oh, it's a black guy. You know, we got to make sure our cars are locked and our houses are locked, and so on and so on and so on. There it's bad. Well, where did that come from? Came from racist human beings that are in positions of power that push these narratives that get people to think the way they want them to think.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get the racist people out of power and revamp the entire education system.
Though they're not in power, does that stop them from spreading that same foolishness?
It drastically reduces it
Mm.
if we stop if we confront the media and go, hey, why ain't you uplifting this 16-year-old kid that's working on solving hunger in an entire community.
Mm. Okay.
you know it, it's teaching ourselves to not let those in power sway the way we think.
Mm.
That's what I'm talking about with revamping.
Mm.
So essentially, it's killing racism without killing the human.
Okay. Okay. Pete, what do you say to that?
what I said before. The
Mm-hmm.
brother asked, can you love it out of him? Surely you can. When we first started the conversation, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
You use the bullets. Bullets penetrate. So you use love to penetrate it. You
Oh
take a
Lord.
baseball bat, which affects. I'm sorry.
Lord.
You
Oh
take a
my.
baseball bat that can deliver blows, and through situations, circumstances, interactions, those blows will come in and affect the individual. If you're at home and you're racist 101, racist.com, racist are us on Hate Avenue, and your address is a hateful address, that's fine. Keep it in the confines of yourself, in your house, and in your territory. When you come outside your yard and call somebody a derogatory name, that's when you get punched in the face, if not shot in the head, okay? Because there should be zero tolerance for it. That's what I mean when I say kill it. Let's be clear. I'm not with the pansyism, punkism, or the passivity of the issue. At this point, if you want to dominate somebody, denigrate somebody, make somebody's life devastating, and you want to own everything and enrich yourself and put them in a position where that's their reality, you have no place on earth with that type of mentality. That's what I'm saying. Any religion, any spiritual belief system, any whatever. It's the fact of the matter. There's no place for you on earth if you like that. That's what I'm saying. And when you see that, get rid of it. The system that allows it, destroy that system. That's what I'm saying. You can be racist all you want in the confines of yourself. When you open your mouth or act on it, that's when you bring your existence into jeopardy. And that should be a standard on earth. And racism will be getting the heck on up out of here real fast when people understand, look here, it's dangerous to even think like this. It's fatal to act on it.
AP.
Immediately fatal to act on it.
AP, Paul said.
Yes, and I'm talking about death too, y'all. I'm not no maniac, no man killer, none of that. I'm just telling you the level of intolerance that we should have for it should be to the point that when you display it, when you act on it, you are bringing your existence into jeopardy. Period.
Pete, Paul said, public citizen said that in the chat to the side on he's on Twitch, I think Twitch as well. He said Pete is full of so much hate, is full of hate. What do you say to that? Are you full of hate?
Me, I'm not full of. I don't hate. You don't know me. I don't hate nobody. See, that's my point. You make assumptions when you hear something and you derive your own interpretation and you're not hearing what I'm saying. I don't hate nobody. I definitely don't hate people because of their color, their gender, their spiritual beliefs. I have tolerance for everybody. I'm one of the most kind, loving people that you will ever meet. But I'm intolerant with nonsense and foolishness. I'm intolerant with it. Racism has caused devastation on planet Earth. And the isms and the schisms that come from it, and the systems that are in place that are linked to racism. All of that needs to be destroyed. And all of the supporters of it need to be destroyed. If they want to change, then hurry up and do it. The time is limited. It's short. It's been around too long, and it's caused too much harm. The majority of people on this earth are just basic people that want to live. They're good-hearted people. They have a form of spirituality. They're not trying to do nothing to harm nobody else. They just want to live their lives. So when you're hearing something, learn how to listen and comprehend what is being said. It may be an uncomfortable truth. I'm not full of hatred. I'm full of intolerance for nonsense. And we've been tolerating it too long. It's caused too much harm. It's a simple solution for it. Why do they have a death penalty when you commit certain crimes that they say are egregious and they issue you the death penalty? It's supposed to be a deterrent towards you committing those acts. Act like you don't understand what I'm saying. It's uncomfortable, but it's still the truth.
Wow.
No more time for that type of nonsense to exist on earth anymore. You want to have everything. You want everybody to be subject to you. You want to control everything, and you care not about the devastation that it commits or brings about in other people's lives. And we should be kumbaya, let's pray and let's talk. No, how about I bust you upside your head because you're ignorant. And
wow.
Your spirit is wrong. Your whole being is wrong. The whole structure of you as a being is wrong. So give them a quick conversation. Change. You gonna change? Oh, boom. Who next? That's how intolerant you should be with that foolishness. Period. In God, Allah, Buddha, Confucius, and Muhammad's name, I mean, amen, I mean.
Good. Wow. Okay. Pete gonna tell us how he really feel in a few minutes. When I go back to him, he gonna tell us how he really feel about what was just said. But right now, he's just scratching the surface. Let me go to Leonard. What's on your heart? We got another call. We're gonna go to the call in a minute. And the phone lines are open: 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Ashe, amen, and amen. I mean, I don't understand. What's the struggle?
Mm-hmm.
What's the struggle unless you just got to struggle with doing what's right? You know you wrong. You know your daddy was wrong. You know your daddy's was wrong. That's why you got a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
See, when
So
you've been on the side of the victimization,
did you hear? And I'm asking you from your standpoint. Did you hear any hate in what Pete said? Because
no,
none.
no,
Mm,
not at all.
mm,
Where is it that the righteous suffer? Where? What in what he said do the righteous suffer? Not one thing that he said.
mm-hmm.
The problem is that some people will tolerate it as long as it ain't them.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that cheered the police on when they did what they did to George Floyd. They saw it with their own eyes and still tried to make excuses for it. These boys go and shoot up churches and everywhere, and guess what? They flood money to their support. You're not against that? You're for that? So
Mm,
who's for that? Because if we have people on this line that are for that, find somewhere else to be. Because we're not tolerating the BS anymore. No one's going to sit around and talk to you for another freaking 100 years about your wickedness. We're not going to go through no extreme, esoteric excuses for why you think it's okay to impose and oppress other people. Who's okay with that? Because if you are, you need to speak up.
mm. 508-924-3521. 50, and somebody just called in. So you may have somebody that's gonna speak up, Leonard. 508-924-3521. We got another caller calling a few minutes ago. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Good morning to my family. Morning, Glow.
Hey, good morning to you as well. Cap, we got a when I put this topic out there, it may sound a little funny, but there's a huge serious side to it. And I'm gonna ask you the question: what is easier? What is harder to get rid of? Racism or roaches?
My brother.
I knew you was gonna laugh when I
Oh,
told you, but listen,
Lord,
but take
Lord.
yeah. Because what it is, we and what's happening right now, we were talking a lot about racism. We talked about the roaches side and the history that they have living through the atomic bombs and all those different things. So they're very hard to get rid of. But what about the racists as well? What about racism? And Pete and Leonard said they go out there and kill them all. And Paul, public citizen, said that Pete is he sound very let me see, very full of a lot of hate is what he said. And that's where we are right now in the conversation. I don't know if you was listening, but I wanted to pretty much catch you up to speed. So what is harder to get rid of, racism or hate?
Well, I mean, I know racism is rooted in the very existence of the Europeans.
Mm.
That's for you, Paul, so you can try to comment on that one. But anyway, why did I say that? Is because we was introduced to racism not by any other race of people, but the Europeans. Mm-hmm. We would have never known nothing about racism if it wasn't for white folks. That's the truth. And so when we look at which one is harder to get rid of, and when it comes to the roaches tip, I don't know. They said roaches would survive a nuclear, but I think that's BS. I really do. I don't think nobody gonna survive that. But the bottom line is, no, I heard my man Pete, and again, I think Pete has a great way of articulating what he says and what he means. Pete is the kind of brother that I've known for the time we've been on this show to say what he means and mean what he say. And I think Paul was kind of really too far to the left to even put and say that man has a lot of hate in him. I think that was a bad bad judgment. When a man sometimes, and this is what people have a tendency to do, especially to black men. White folks have a tendency to do, especially to black men. If we express something that we don't like, and then we express it with a little anger backing it up, he's hate. No, that's not hate. That's me expressing what I hate. Now, you're going to hate. If you want to say, Brother Dennis hate, yes, I do hate. God hate. Oh, did I say that? God hate. He said he loved Jacob and hated Esau. I don't know. I think it's something like that. I talked to my Bible scholar, Tucson. He's the Bible scholar. I have so much love for Tucson. I didn't know that man was a preacher. But nevertheless, I hate, look here now, Paul, injustice. Oh, yes, I do. I hate violence. Yes, I do. I hate liars. Come on now. I hate liars. I hate thieves. I hate those things that is contrary to God. So if you want to put a label of hate, so anytime these things pop up on these shows, on this show, and we address it, yes. It ain't that we full of hate. We try, listen, it's hard to try to make sense out of nonsense. The world is going so far to the left that I said the other day when I was on this show, I can't wait for God to take it out the game. I can't wait for God to take the wicked out the game. And even if he takes the 2 or 3, a few of us, not 2 or 3, but few of us along with him, I ain't got no problem. And if Brother Dennis got to go, thank you, Lord. Because I'm tired. I'm tired every time we have to get on this show, we have to discuss something that don't seem to be getting better. It's getting worse, man. And it's not going to get better. It's getting worse. And not that we want to talk about this, but it's a reality that we have to face every day of our lives.
Yes.
We have to face the sick racism of these Europeans. They're so immature that their sickness is taking them out of existence. It's sad for them. But then here we go. There's some black people that's racism there. We're going to get that. Well, I haven't met one yet. That's the truth now. But I can show you a whole lot. Now, it does not make no indictment to any particular white person. That's not an indictment to my man Ryan or his wife or Badger or even Paul. They ain't got nothing to do with what have happened to us and in the position of power to deprive us of anything. They ain't in that position. We're not talking about the little white kid next door to me or the poor whites in the trailers. It's not talking about them. They victims of racism too. They victims of classism. So we're not talking about, we're talking about a system that is predominantly ruled by sick, basically old white men.
Good deal. Good deal.
That's a good bar, right?
Wow. Let me go to Ryan, and then we'll circle my way around. We got another caller, and we have my sister Friday is with us this morning. So we definitely got. I want to hear her heart as well. Good morning, young lady. Ryan, talk to me, brother.
What's up?
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Excuse me. I respect everybody's opinion, and I really ain't got much more to say about it.
Ryan, let me do this, because I know, because you shared, your history and your background, and you have both sides in your family. You have both sides
Yes,
in your
sir.
family. And so, with that being said, how do you view this whole thing, dealing with racism, and what should really happen, and how should this thing play itself out? Because you have people, you have family members.
Yeah, I mean, I got multiple different ethnicities in my immediate family: Hispanics,
yeah,
blacks.
yeah, exactly.
So, and it's like I said before, man. Like when me and Rico talk, I hate labels. You're a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a man. You're a woman. I'm not. Thought she was gonna catch me there, didn't she? Um, but I just hate these labels, man. And like when we get together at a family function, I don't look at my sisters and go, "Yeah, there's my black sister over there."
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. I
Mm-hmm.
don't look at my uncle's wife, whose whole family immigrated from Mexico. Oh man, there are going to be Mexican family members over there.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
do all that. We just get together and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me, even as a white person, and like Cap said, it's something that Europeans started, right? It's hard for me to even use that as a focal point in my life, period. Even though I know it's going on and it happens every day, it's hard for me to even focus on it because I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say ignore it because I know it's there and I have a seething hatred for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
With
I'm
that
no
being
better.
said, with that being said, hold on. And I'm glad you said that, because I know that you do as well. But what in your estimation, what is worse, the racist or the one that turns a blind eye to racism?
They both the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're both the same. But at the same time, me and my moral compass, and you may disagree, but in my mind, when I look at somebody like that, and that thought runs through my mind, man, let me just end you. It'd be so easy.
Yeah.
So easy. And ain't nobody gonna care. Because this is my state. You come up here and mess with me, you gonna disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it'd be so easy for me to take that person's life. But my moral compass, that thing inside of me that I have no control over because God put it there, makes me look at that individual. And then I think to myself, if I take that person's life, I'm just as bad as them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I done committed murder, which is a sin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have I sinned before? Sure, but that don't make it right to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's hard. It's so hard. And like Leonard said, he don't know what it's like to be white. You're right, bro. You don't. And just the way that us white folks don't know what it's like to be black and deal with that system of oppression, you don't know what it's like to have to sit there and look at other people that's the same color as you and know that they're a problem and ain't nothing you can do about it until you can figure out how to get a massive group of people together and stomp it out legally.
Mm-hmm. So it's not, and from what, and I love your passion, where you're coming from right now. It's not that it's not that you don't see it. It's just that you have to come up with a strategic way of getting rid of it, and it irks your heart. You're very
It does.
poor.
It makes me emotional, man. I don't like being emotional. Being emotional with my wife and my kids is one thing, but this makes me so angry it brings me to tears.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here at work getting emotional because I'm getting so mad, and I hate being mad.
I got you. I got you. And see, and that's the reality right there, man. But you know, it is something that we definitely as a society have to deal with it, man. We got to tackle this thing, man. Racism is something that we got to tackle. Now roaches is another thing, but you know, we definitely got to tackle this thing called racism, man, and do what we could do, each one individually and collectively, do what we could do to get this thing out of. And how do we do it? I don't know. But something have to happen. Something have to happen. Let me go to Joseph, and then we're gonna go to our sister. We got our sister Friday with us this morning. But Joseph, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Joseph, you there?
I thought I'd hit them. I thought I unmute myself. Good morning, family. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, brother. We asking a question this morning. What is harder to get rid of? What is harder to get rid of? Racism or roaches?
Well, the both seem to reproduce themselves. They have offsprings, I guess, and it continues. Racism is a very violent method used, and when we look, used by people for power.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at the colonization of Africa, the atrocities committed by European leaders across the continent of Africa, you know, in addition to slavery.
Mm-hmm.
History bears that fact out. But racism is a tool. It's a tool to gain power and to maintain power.
Mm-hmm.
So
you said
that's what it is in a
nutshell. Joseph, you said
now,
violent. Does it always have to be violent?
It has to be violent, because how are you going to keep people in subjugation to you?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because you've got to overcome their will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And nobody in their right mind is going to surrender their will to be free. I like the way the old slave told one white man who said, you know, I'm a good white man. I believe in giving black folks the right. He said, you still got the sickness, honey.
Mm-hmm.
You still got the sickness, because first of all, you can't give me what belongs to me by birth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's my birthright. You can't give me nothing. I own it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. King said something that was profound to me. He said, you can kill a murderer, but you can't kill murder.
Mm.
You can kill a hater or a person who hates, but you can't kill hate. You know, you can kill someone who's prejudiced, but you kill prejudice. The fact of the matter is, when I growing up in the projects, there were certain black folks that were so toxic, man, I tried to avoid.
Yeah.
Like the plague.
Yeah.
You know, but when I was little, I also understood that sometimes our judgment is off. Because when I was a little boy, there was a set of twins, Ray and Roy. They were in my family. And this person trying to come, they were in my family. And every year they would come down from Chicago. Now, these were the sharpest dressed dude, man. They were members of the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
They were some of the sharpest brothers I had ever seen in my life.
Uh-huh.
In the weekdays, these brothers had on suits and bow ties.
Yes, sir.
And they had you know, the Muhammad Speak newspaper. But a lot of black folks would avoid them, like they did Jehovah's Witness people.
Mm.
But I used to love to listen to them, man, because I'm like, these brothers are very disciplined.
Yeah.
They are different from anybody I've ever met in the black community. So I would listen to them, you know, and they would try to tell me, you know, I was smoking cigarettes. They would try to tell me, don't put all that white man poison in your body, man, you know. And then me and my friends, you know, we used to get them old winos to go in the liquor store and get us a bottle of wine and whatnot, you know. But they would tell us, man, don't put all that stuff in your body. You're killing yourself, black man.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know what they were talking about at the age of 13.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got older, I said, my judgment was off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very much so. And so I've learned now to work on Joseph and concentrate on my feelings about things. I don't want to be guilty of hating anyone for the color of their skin. I don't want to turn around and do to others what they have done to me and my race.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
At the same time, I won't bow down.
Mm-hmm.
I will not submit to someone else's hatred and racism. I called it out and I'll confront it. I will not coexist with it peacefully.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Friday. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
And doing good, doing good. Just asking a question. What is harder to get rid of? Racism or roaches?
Wow. You know, that's a good question. I feel like racism would be the most difficult thing to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because it's a matter of the heart, and out of the heart the mouth speaks. So, you know, as we can see, roaches can show up at the Met Gala.
Exactly. Walk right up, walk right up with the carpet.
Right there,
Exactly.
take my picture. But I think because it's a matter of the heart, and how and how that filters people to see each other. We, as far as getting rid of it, it's harder because we right, in of our own power, unlike creating pesticides or other things to rid roaches in your immediate area, right? Because they'll still be out there somewhere, right? You're just not encountering them in your immediate area. It We can create things,
Man,
traps
you
and glue boards and everything like that to get rid of it. But because racism is a heart matter, until we submit ourselves to the same love that we're supposed to be showing to each other, it will continue to be a problem, because the greater weight of the counter, the love is greater, love will conquer all, but we're not submitting ourselves individually to love in a way to make love greater in our day-to-day lives, even though love is greater and is more than enough to cover a multitude of sins. And
Absolutely.
so therefore that would be the harder things to get rid of.
Man, you live in an apartment, man. You fog your apartment, whatever they do to get rid of the roaches. And a couple of days later, you're gonna see roaches coming knocking on your door with duffel bags, man, trying to move in. You ain't gonna get rid of them jokers. Them jokers gonna come right back with duffel bags. Let me go to Stanley. Stanley, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir. How you doing, man? I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good to have you, sir. We asking a question: which one is harder to get rid of? What is harder to get rid of racism or roaches?
Well, you never get rid of either one of them, to be honest with you. But racism is going to be the hardest because it's generational.
Wow.
People are passing that thing on down from generation to generation. And I give you a prime example. When President Obama was in office, I was at the British room, and I was listening to this. There was a lady there with her kids. She was on the phone. She wasn't paying attention to what her kids were doing. It was an old white guy sitting there with his grandson, and he was steady bashing President Obama and Michelle Obama. They were just coming from Hawaii or somewhere. And he was bashing them. He was telling her kids, he wasn't listening. He was telling her kids that that's why we don't need a black president, because he's not taking care of the country. Him and his wife over in Hawaii doing this and doing that because, they want to have vacation instead of worrying about what's going on with the country. So I'm listening to him. I'm like, what's he talking to? I looked over there, and he was talking directly to her kids. She's on the phone with her back to her kids. So he started spewing this racist nonsense to her kids. So I got up, and I went over there. I stood between him and those kids, and and I tapped her on her shoulder. I said, excuse me. I say, I'm not trying to get in your business. I said, but you need to be paying attention to what's going on with your children. But what's going on? I said, this man is sitting right here in your children's face, spewing hatred towards our president and his first lady. And you're not even paying attention to what's going on. I said, now they're going to grow up. If nobody corrects this, they're going to grow up saying, oh, we really don't need a black president. They're not doing this. They're not doing that because this man is spewing this hatred to them while you're here on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I wasn't paying. I said, I know you weren't paying attention. So that's why that's how we get confused children, because you're not even paying attention to what they're doing. This man is, he was just steady, just going. So I can't take this, man. You know, so it's always going to be like that, because even though some people, and don't get me wrong, I have nothing against any race. Yeah. My two youngest sons have been dating white girls since they was in high school. You know, and one of them married, he married his girlfriend last year in October on his birthday. The other son is getting ready to get married. So I have nothing against any race. My wife is from Samoa. My great-great-grandmother was Indian. So we are like a melting pot in our family as well. But I don't like people who spew hate to other generations, because it's just going to keep it going.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, you're breaking up on me a little bit there, brother. Okay, let's keep this thing going. Rico, talk to me, brother.
But, they'll always be around, just like racism.
I got you. Rico, talk to me.
See, that's the psychology of white supremacy. That is the psychology. We say all the time, man, black people don't listen to other black people, but let a white man come and say it, and we see it. We see it all the time. It is very much true. We saw it in our culture. We saw it with hip-hop. We didn't value hip-hop until white people valued hip-hop. It didn't have no financial value. See, this is the thing about it. The whole advantage of white supremacy is profit and benefit. Advantage. So that advantage, man, that gives them the audacity to think that they can give you rights, or to come to you and spin a narrative that Obama ain't doing his job because he in Hawaii. Well, what about all the time that the Bushes spent at Camp David? That opportunity to spin that narrative, it goes to show, I was saying earlier about the roach crawling behind the TV screen and everybody ignoring it and acting like they didn't see it. They didn't notice, man, this roach is behind the TV. This ain't part of the movie.
Yeah.
We ignore it. We're too busy being distracted, and they know we distracted. And because we don't get it. White supremacy was profitable, and it ain't going to end because it's too profitable. America wouldn't have been what America was. It wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for white supremacy and the capitalism that it was structured around it. The system of white supremacy, the system of racism. So, it's not the people that feel a certain way that you really just could say, well, we should go kill them or whatever. But it's the people that perpetrate acts of racism that have an impact. Man, that's crazy how that psychology works, man. I can remember working at a job one time, and they were saying at this job that, they're not supposed to do any kind of political campaigning. So this is what they did. They on a real slick side, they put an example balance in your check to show you how to vote. Influence. Now, this is how powerful influence was, subliminal influence. And so you open up your checks, and if you one of these type of black people that I ain't about all that voting stuff, and I don't believe in unions, I just want to work, pay me. You see this example, and you see Bush name on there. You don't see Gore name on there. Then they're showing you what boxes to check. And I'm like, wait a minute, if you don't read in between, if you don't know any better, man, they really dictating the people that don't really do this what to do. Copy this. Imitate this. And like I said, for some reason, black people do feel like, if they ain't paying attention, that if white people said that it must be important, or it must be true. If they verified it, it must be true. So here it is. They put these ballots. And you got other,
Yeah, these old politics things, just something else, man. And old Gore, he's all right, man. He's all about this future stuff and the internet stuff, man. I like the old ways, You really don't want to vote for Gore. If you vote for Gore, you're gonna have to buy all these new cars, and they're gonna take everything from 1980 and back off the road. And you know how we all like our old schools, man. You don't get out of here with that crap.
Mm-hmm.
You actually tried to influence me with that lie. But see, if you're young and influential, which most young people are, and they are in the presence of people that seem like they have some type of authority or maybe some type of knowledge, you will be influenced to listen to these people because you would think they must know what they're talking about. I mean, in our community, we hear all the time, "Hey, man, that got some money. He must know something."
Yeah, yeah.
And immediately we think people that have something, that have better access, better resources, better opportunities, we think they must know more than we know because they have more than we have.
Mm-hmm.
So psychologically, those children that heard that in that grocery store will never forget that Obama wasn't taking care of the country because he was in Hawaii surfing and eating pineapples.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
And going whoo, 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 like a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if they took the opportunity to say that, they would throw that in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But they go. When you think of Hawaii, you think about recreation. You ain't even thinking about just the fact that you've been doing all this work and you're getting gray hairs. You're just thinking about recreation and vacation. And that was real good to link that in there together. He all out in Hawaii and he ain't taking care of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Taking advantage of a chance to influence children psychologically. And that's how it has been working the whole time we've been here. They've been influencing children through schools, cartoons, you name it, to subconsciously feel like you need to listen to us because look at what we are. Look at even Jesus white. Look at that. Listen to us. Our opinion matter more than anybody you know. And it's really and truly that it psychologically does have a sense because most children will look at their parents and look at their grandparents, and if their parents or grandparents don't have the material or superficial things that the friends that they go to school with parents have, then they might actually start being more influenced by those children and their parents because they envy and look up to and strive for those material and superficial things that the standard that has been set as the standard of success.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking about today what is harder to get rid of? What is harder to get rid of? Is it racism or roaches? Racism or roaches? Zamari, how much does this conversation that we're having today, first of all, how much is it actually needed that the conversation is coming forth, which is I think is a great thing, and how much of it does it break your heart to have it?
It breaks my heart tremendously. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting here teetering on whether or not I wanted to leave this conversation because much like what my husband said, he had to step away and collect his thoughts. It's just got me in my feels.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so heartbreaking, and I don't want to get emotional on here.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was like, no, I'm not going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that because one, it would be if I just took off in the middle of the show like that, right? It would be perceived wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would be perceived the wrong way. But it does. It makes me extremely emotional because I don't raise my kids like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't understand how, if Ryan and we're not raising our kids like that. We're raising them to love people.
Yeah.
Love people.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can do that, why the hell can't everybody else? And excuse me, but truly, I'll go put myself in the corner.
Okay.
But, I don't know. And I hear the heartbreak of everyone on here that's speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand where they're coming from. Not that they want to necessarily take another human's life. but they want to stomp out that thing that's in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get that. I totally get that. I wish to God that we could just go get a Nerf, one of those Nerf bats or something. Just beat them with that. But
yeah,
it is a needed conversation. But there was this something that happened that came to my mind with someone that Ryan and I knew when she was working. And she said this lady would constantly come in, and they worked at the same place together, and she was just hateful and angry all the time, every day, making this person I knew, making her life miserable every chance that she got, just saying negative things constantly, just that hate, that anger. And instead of retaliating back or responding back in the same way, like what some of these men on here have said, you got to kill it with love, pelt it, penetrate it, get underneath that skin, underneath the surface. And she did that for a long time, continuously just fed that, sowed that seed of love into that woman. And eventually that woman came around. Eventually that woman came around. And you know what? All that hate that she was throwing at her, it had nothing to do with her. Nothing whatsoever. It was about her situation that was going on in her home life, with her husband, with those stressors. We can kill this thing, but not necessarily killing the person.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen American History X?
No, I haven't.
That movie is fantastic. It's a fantastic movie. The beginning of it's rough because it is from the point of view of a white supremacist. He murdered. My husband can correct me on this, or Rico can. I think that was Rico who said he saw. I believe he murdered. I think it was a black guy. Went to prison for it, and during his time in prison, he was faced with all races, black specifically, because that's what this movie was focused on. And he came out of prison with a completely different perception of things. And it changed his heart. It changed who he was, how he viewed life, everyone's lives. It was a great movie. It really was. But they say what comes around goes around, and sadly it came back around. It came back around on him in that movie. But we can kill this thing. We can kill it.
Now, what's the name of the movie?
It's called American History X.
Okay, I'm gonna go up.
Yeah, it's an old movie. It's good, man. With Guy Torrey, he's the black guy, and Ed Norton is the main star. But I hate to butt in, man, but I don't know if everybody paid attention or not. But we asking, how can we stop this? And I don't know if y'all realize it, but what Zamara just did is showed how you stop it. You don't run. You stay and address the hard conversations like Dr. Jane Elliott does.
Yep.
You stay, because the thing is we can't run from it. And the reason why it does stay and remain is because people run. Because they don't like to have these tough, difficult conversations. They are tough.
Yeah.
And it might sound like it's one-sided, but I believe most of us on here, listen, it was a black man killed a 6-year-old child, and he said he did it because it was white. He need to die.
Yeah.
So it ain't just us saying we need to kill racist white people. No, we want to kill evil people. But the thing is we couldn't love Hitler back straight. America couldn't love Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden back straight. They couldn't even love Saddam Hussein's son straight. They had to wipe evil off the face of the earth because these people are here to kill and destroy. And if you have that in your heart to want to kill and destroy niggas, you need to die. Because you have to counter
an evil force with an equal force. And when something exists that is so evil, to say that I hate you just because I want the advantage over you because I can't compete with you for whatever reason it is, and I kill your children and feed them alligators or do whatever I can to do to you the first chance I get a chance to do it, you should die, black or white. It's just that the conversation is hard because we ain't talking about children being molested.
Yeah.
We talking about black people being treated wrong, inhumanely by white people. Hard conversation. But this is how you solve it. Zamari showed it. Sometimes we have the answers to the questions, and it be right there in our face, and she did it. She's really showing you this is how you address it. Just like Dr. Jane Elliott. I'm going to suggest to all white people again to go and listen to this woman talk, because she's going to say some things to y'all from a white perspective that's really going to hold some people accountable and make you think that it ain't nothing for you to feel guilty about if you didn't do it, but you got to accept. The reality is that it was some people that really did these things, and they need to die for it if they still exist.
Exactly.
Just like the war criminals that they came over here and got from Germany, that escaped over here from Germany. They came back and got them and held them accountable. Some of them might not have died, but you do have to fight that evil force with an equal force.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. I'm going to get in trouble. Watch this. Shanavia.
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm running this morning, but I'm okay.
Good deal. Good deal. Got a question for you. And I need to hear your whole heart on this. Which one is harder to get rid of? Which one is harder to get rid of? Racism or roaches?
Racism or roaches? Well, I'm late to the party, and I was just gonna listen in, but okay, we'll go with the racism of the roaches. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything to add that hadn't already been said or what have you, but I don't know. I really don't know which one is harder to get rid of because both are a plague and both are a nuisance and both are obnoxious and they're both very much still here. So I really don't have an answer as to which one is harder to get rid of because, well, one, we can go buy some raid and get rid of it. Then there's a whole ecosystem of that. And it's kind of the same way with racism. You can do some things to expunge it or get rid of parts of it, but there's still a whole ecosystem of eggs, if you will, that have been laid and intertwined, and you got to go deep, and it's a system that has to be put down and demolished. But which one is worse or easier to get rid of? That's a good question.
Exactly. Cap, talk to me.
Well, I like what I was thinking. Listen to Samara, I'm glad she didn't, walk away.
Absolutely.
And most certainly, she's right on point. We would have read into that differently. We definitely would have read into that differently. That's just the way, we be thinking when we're dealing with hardcore facts about the mistreatment of a people. Other people, either, when we start pointing out the perpetrators of such a horrible treatment has to be people of white people. And sometimes, white people take that as an indictment to all white people, and I'm white, and sometimes, have a certain feeling about it. But I think we got to mature, because if Paul said that about my man Pete, sometimes it don't have to be us to defend Paul and how he see things. Sometimes white folks got to step up and say, whoa, wait a minute, let me say something to Paul. No, Paul, that ain't what be. We are, it's almost like we understand how to defend each other as black people, but very seldom do we see white folks defend us. Very seldom. And that's not an indictment, that's the truth. We get tired of have to defend ourselves. I don't hear nobody step up and say, whoa,
Man, black people have gone through. I know I hear some on this line say that, but with the kind of vigor and the kind of anger that Pete brought, I'm tired. I'm tired every time I go around. I see black people victimized. My brothers, my black brothers and sisters, victimized by people of the same color as me. I hate that. I can go into a daggone diner. We can go into a diner, Raheem, and you can look out before you walk into that diner. You see all these motorcycles. On the back of it says Hell's Angel. Now, would you feel comfortable, Raheem, when you go in that diner and there's about maybe 25 dudes in motorcycle gear with beards and chains, and I mean, would you feel comfortable?
you have to take a step back and evaluate it. You definitely have to take a step back and evaluate it. Yeah.
You start looking at it, you may go in there.
Yeah.
But you ain't gonna feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing, whites can go in there, and there's some that may feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable why? Because the Hell's Angels going to beat up other white folks, or the Hell's Angels going to beat up somebody of color that's Asians or Jewish or whatever. And that ain't all white people. Some people, white people, ain't want to take their children in there. You see a bunch of Hell's Angels. You're a family man. You got your daughter with you. So, oh man, I can't take my children up in there because you know they're very rude and disrespectful. Not that you may become a victim. We go in there, they may be rude and disrespectful, but we may become a target. That's real. That's real. Now, that's a crazy scenario, but it's crazy about them roaches. I didn't get into the roach game, but there's two things we do understand. I like somebody said both of them are nuisance. The sister said that. But there's no question, it's almost like, you can get rid of the roach. Of course, you can come up with chemicals and take them out, and you don't have to have them in your home, man. I mean, but one thing common, you mentioned everybody knows something about roaches.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we all had roaches once upon a time. But, roaches is a sign of uncleanliness. That's what it's a sign of.
Yeah.
And when you bring a roach and your mama see a roach, somebody must have brought that in here. I'm clean. That's what mama always say.
Exactly.
Probably that boy you had come in and brought them roaches. But roaches is a sign of something unclean, unhealthy.
Exactly.
The same with racism. It's an unclean mind. It's not healthy. But I do think, Brother Raheem, that we have to address these kind of, and a lot of emotion comes out of it. There's no question about it. But I admire Ryan, I admire Samari, I admire Badger, and even I admire Paul. I mean, this is not to make you run, but sometimes it's good that you feel the pain. If you got any feeling, you're going to feel the pain.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we keep crying, then that's telling you something. Every show, why y'all keep, but there's a reason, because racism is not gone. Rico could get on here tomorrow and tell a story that he just was a victim of racism that day. As he was getting ready to get on the bus or whatever, and the white guy said, get in the back of the bus, or we ain't got no seat. It could be something crazy as that. But that's not unusual for any one of us on this line can be a victim of racism that day.
Good deal. Good deal. Absolutely.
So I just wanted to say you have to be very conscious that it's a reality. And we're not coming to bringing this up every time because we love to bask in our demise and in our torment and in our, what had happened, our atrocities. We like to bask in that. That's BS.
Good
That's
deal.
BS.
Good deal.
No, we don't.
I really need to add something.
Badger, what is it that you need to add, brother?
Talking about solutions. And this is something that I have to deal with white folks all the time, and it's absolutely fucking sorry. It's infuriating how I don't even know the right word anymore. When you present human beings with facts, you show them bills and
legislations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of why this is still here. You show them that the person that's rerunning is one of the people that voted for it. And you know what these morons do?
Mm-hmm.
Vote them back in to protect their gun rights, to protect the rich, to the evil rich. Let me rephrase. To be pro-life or whatever excuse they want to give. And then they wonder why we still have to have these conversations.
Okay. One thing.
So
One thing about it, Badger, we're not gonna go to name calling morons and stuff like. We're not gonna do that. But make your point.
well,
Make your point.
whew,
Go ahead.
I'm tired of having my life threatened because they think I'm anti-gun and anti all this stuff, when in reality I'm anti the evil human being that they're about to elect. Sitting here watching, you know, knowing that now all of the public schools are about to go into a religious war because of the same people that support racism, that support these bills that get put in place. Sitting here trying to share knowledge, which is facts, because you can go look up who voted for what bill. It blows my mind. The I'll be nice. I'll just say ignorance of most people not realizing that the same people that they give these excuses for, well, that's not what he meant to say. That's not how you're supposed to interpret that, and all this bullcrap. When the facts show that they're the ones voting yeah on the bills that are causing the problems that we're all complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
Use your brain. If you don't,
Good deal. Let me go. We got a couple of people actually on the phone line as well. I want to get to them before we get out of here. We got a few. We're gonna stay a few minutes over anyway. We might even have to extend this conversation. I don't know if we're gonna do this tomorrow or not, man. It's kind of rough on folks. But Paul, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me? I've been having problems with my phone.
Yeah, we hear you. What's on? Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. What's harder to get rid of, racism or roaches?
Yeah. Well, I want to add to what Badger was saying, and I think it's really important. You know, a lot of people on the show, people who know things, talk about like the systemic racism as opposed to interpersonal racism, where the government and corporations and powerful people do things that harm non-white people. And so, I mean, if we're being honest, then we have to acknowledge the fact that it is one side of the political aisle that is, you know, that does gerrymandering, that does, banning books that talk about race and all these things. So I think that's very, very important that Badger brings that up. But in terms of like getting rid of, obviously, yeah, roaches serve a purpose, right? They are the cleanup crew of the earth, along with other decomposers. They're needed. But in terms of the solution to racism, I say that it has to be universal. And you know, people who have drug problems and alcohol problems, stuff like that. I don't have one, but I've been to those meetings with family members and stuff, and they always say the first step is admit you have a problem. So, you know, there's a lot of white people, there's a lot of black people, Hispanics, Asians that don't admit they have a problem. So, you know, if you have a lot of hostility and hatred, resentment towards a person, it's virtually impossible for that to not come out. Even if you try to suppress it, it's going to come out one way or another. Through your thoughts, your words, your actions, all of these things are related. So,
Paul, do you think everybody is racist? Do you think everybody is racist in some shape, form, or fashion?
I think everyone has. Okay. See, that's that debate that I want to have a one-on-one with you, Rico, on this topic, because I want to dive into this and not just throw out talking points. So here's the deal. Is everyone racist? Everyone is capable of being discriminatory. I think we all have different prejudice and stuff. I think I'm pretty far along on the process of being anti-racist, just because I've spent a lot of time talking to people and listening. And I live in LA. I live in a multicultural place. And when I first moved here, I had an epiphany. And I was sitting there. I remember it. I'm going to get emotional. Sorry. I remember sitting at a light and seeing like black people and brown people and realizing I was judging them. And I said, this is wrong. And I made a decision right then and there that I'm not going to do that. And that's been my path.
Wow. Okay. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, which one is harder to get rid of, racism or roaches?
Racism.
Now, how you want to get rid of all them little roaches though? Them little roaches, all the roaches.
I don't care nothing about no roaches. I care about racism. So if human beings die or mistreated or devalued because of racism, I don't give a flip about a roach. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. And Badger is right on time. He said everything he said. Because we can try to pretend like racism isn't real and Trump isn't an evil man if you want to. But the bottom line is he's evil. He ain't gonna change from being evil. And ain't nobody gonna make me think anything other than he's evil. All you have to do is listen to him and watch what he does. A person's action speaks louder than anything else. So that man is poor. He's as racist as they get. So, I don't care. I don't care who get mad. I don't give a flip right about now.
I don't give
and we need to stop. I'm not petty. I'm not playing with nobody when it comes to racism. I don't care who it is.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard?
It's evident. I don't think of anything that could be more open and in your face. And I think people don't want to admit it. Guess what? I listened to Miss Z. Our parents always raised us that way. To love people despite the color of their skin. To treat people with respect despite the color of their skin. We've always been taught this. So the fact that now all these things have become an issue because it's bursting this bubble and it's destroying this belief that these white people have the right to oppress everybody else. That has to be destroyed. You can't shake hands with it. You can't hope it get better because it's not. We've seen it hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Not just because you decided to have a bright idea 3-4 years ago. That's not. That's your finally looking at it. You're finally looking at it. It took you that long to look at it. We've been looking at it every day. Every day since I've been here. I'm the most rational person in the world. No one can tell you. My reputation would be is at stake for being so fair. But you just have to remember, if it hurts, hopefully it'll heal. I'm not here to make you accept nothing you don't want to accept, believe anything you don't want to believe. These truths, you heard this phrase? There are some truths that are just self-evident. You should be against it. But when you walk in them polls and you vote for it, don't expect me to like you.
Good deal. Good deal. Paul, I mean, I'm sorry. I was gonna go to. Let me see who I got here. Pete. That's right. I was gonna go to Pete. Pete said he had something. What's on your heart, brother?
I had someone listening in, Miss Misha. Go ahead, Misha.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Misha, how you
I would
doing?
just like to say the topic, which one is easier to get rid of, roaches or racism?
Yes.
Roaches are definitely easier to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Racism, I applaud the colonizer community at the times in which they try to step up to support and defend. But the thing that I don't think that they realize is you can stand on the front lines with us, but when your back is up against that wall, are you going to take that cloak off? Or are you going to stand in this? Are you going to actually sit there and let the blood be drawn from you as well? We can't decide today. Oh, today we're going to be pro-black or we're going to be Black Lives Matter. When every day we're faced with injustices, and it's easy to be on the sidelines or to be on the front line when it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets hard, how many of them are really going to stand into it? How many of you are really going to stand in the fight with us? They're not.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because at any given point in time that they have to choose, are you going to be a white woman and stand up for that black man when, not just when the guns are drawn, but when the bullets start coming out of these firearms? Are you going to sit there and you're going to take a bullet to shield him? Or are you going to stand there until it gets unbearable and then you go back home to your house with your 2.3 kids, white picket fence, dog, and a goldfish? Because even when the bullets are being fired, when you decide to retreat because it got too heavy, we still have to stand there. We're still in that fight. We're still in that struggle. And the difference between roaches and racism, roaches are roaches. They know what they are. They know the assignment. Racism, people can put that coat on and take it off whenever it's convenient for them.
Wow.
They can pick and choose when they want to be decent human beings versus when they don't.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's
and
good.
You can have so many people. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna cut this short, but you can have so many people that say, "Oh, this isn't right. It breaks my heart." But let the bottom line where it comes down to your child versus mine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
You're gonna choose your child every time, whether your child is wrong or right. So racism definitely is harder to get rid of. Roaches, they know they're roaches. They know they spread disease. They do what they do. But you can get rid of roaches. You can get them out your house. Racism, it's everywhere because it's a taught and an inbred thing.
Wow.
That's it.
508-924-3 508-924-3521 508-924-3521 is the phone number. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. We actually ready to get out of here. We're a little bit over now. What is it?
Oh, Friday looks
10:06.
like she's wanting to speak.
But before you do that, if you could, is Paul the brother that stated that I was so full of hatred?
Yes.
All right. Can he, if he's still here, can he explain why he derived at that conclusion?
Well, actually, he just hung up. Hopefully, he'll call back. He just hung up. Hopefully, he'll call back in. But yeah, we only got a few more minutes. So if Paul, you're gonna call in, you need to call in right now because we're about to get out of here. But let me go to Navy. Are you still with us? Navy, talk to me, sis. See, I didn't even say Shanavia. See, maybe I need to say Shanavia. You there? Toussaint, talk to me. Oh, Toussaint done hung up too. Lord Jesus, what's going on right here? Friday, I see you right there. Friday, talk to me. She would have eaten, but I see her
chomping down. But I just wanted to just circle back because everything, I don't know what was said before I came on because that was the point of entering the conversation as a whole. Everything the after, which I'm like, we're still talking the heart. We're still talking the heart. And that's what's going to be able to eradicate racism. And so the heart posture and those conversations that are happening behind closed doors, the actions that are being done when we're, doing different things, that's been said by other listeners and viewers. Like, what is your checks and balances that you're using, right? Because that's going to expose your heart posture and really say something about yourself that you're going to have to face. Like the gentleman said, when he moved to California, he had to face that about himself. And his heart posture changed. And at that point, he was able to do something different, have different vocabulary, and have different actions. So it's going to be really important in all of this to remember. And that's why it's the hardest thing to change. Because we can influence that, but only God can change it.
Exactly. Ryan, talk to me, brother.
So I'm gonna go off base. I think there's a misconception about roaches here.
Okay, what talk to me.
Roaches are not a sign of a dirty house. I did pest control for a while, and you wouldn't believe some of the most immaculate, big old houses, spotless, you can eat off the floor, got roaches. Roaches are attracted to water, rotting wood, cardboard, magazines, paper, and they will find any way to get it because that's where they thrive, right? So I just wanted to clear the air for roaches right there.
Stand up for them roaches.
And it just struck into my memory when Kev said that, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." That's all I got to say.
Okay, somebody else was saying something. Somebody was saying something just now.
Now, I want to say this. Now, if you had that conversation with my mother gonna say they got roaches because they're unclean. So you can say that because you're a roach expert. All right. But roaches ain't gonna be nowhere where they can't find no food.
Yeah.
Period. If you're dropping crumbs, you're not clean, and you don't clean up behind yourself, you're gonna have roaches. Now that's the concept. Now, that's the concept. Now it may be both. It may be uncleanness, and it may be the environment by which, but they ain't no wood eaters. And you say that, but they like food. I know that about roaches. Now they do like food. And if you got a household where people are not cleaning up behind themselves, we already know you're gonna have roaches. Now you just kind of educate us, Ryan. I'm not gonna, any man that's a professional in dealing with that, I'll be a fool to tell you wrong. So you just educated us about roaches. We appreciate that.
And now I know a couple of roaches personally, and I know they do like to know.
He's right. They do like food, but they reproduce using water. So if you got a spectacularly immaculate house, but you got a water leak that you don't know about underneath your house, guess what? You're gonna find roaches.
Wow.
Them the water bugs. Them the big roaches. We thought that was water bugs.
Exactly. See, that's what I call it earlier. And he tried to tell me they ain't calling them water bugs. That's just a fancy name for roaches. Them roaches, brother. He tried to tell me.
We from the country. We call them outdoor roaches and indoor roaches.
Exactly. Shanavia, you with us?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm multitasking.
Okay, talk to me, sis. What's on your
heart? Have to be honest with you, Mr. Rahim. I don't know because I had to take a phone call, so I have no clue where we are right now.
If you could come up with the solution,
we're talking about roaches.
Yeah, we're talking about roaches and racism. Now, if you could come up with a solution to get rid of both of them at the same time, what would be that solution?
I don't know how to get rid of both of them.
Yeah,
at the same
roaches
time.
and you're gonna knock out both roaches and racism at the same time. Bow. gone.
Man, Jesus gonna have to come back then. That's the only way I know to knock out both of them. And personally, I ain't ready to go yet. So I don't know. That's the only solution I got. Jesus gonna have to come back, eradicate it all. It ain't a raid 10 or a roach motel big enough to house the roaches and the racism. So I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't have an answer other than Jesus. That's it.
Exactly. Zamari, how perfect would this world be? Or would it be perfect if we could get rid of racism? Zamari?
I think she over there cooking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me go to who else I got on my phone lines here. Let me see who I got on my phone line. Let's go to Pete. Rico, coming to you next. How perfect would the world be if we could get rid of this thing called racism?
Well, it'd be a step better toward the embracing of living beings, enjoying their being, and enjoying each other.
Okay.
Your differences would be more so celebrated than denigrated and used to separate. And we can just have a lot better camaraderie without a whole lot of unnecessary issues.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico?
But
sorry, go ahead.
But we have to define that fully, because again, remember, it involves systematic, okay? In that breakdown. So it's not just the one to the one and the differences in their color or lack thereof, but the systems in function. I'm done.
Good deal. Good deal.
Wait, I want to say something. I'm on Pete's line.
Okay.
If we can get rid of racism, I want 2 pet unicorns delivered to my house.
You want what?
To get rid of racism, I want 2 pet unicorns delivered to my house, because to get rid of racism altogether will create an entirely euphoric system and world for us all to live in.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the United States of America was not built or based on that.
Okay. Zamari.
Yes.
Somebody got something going on there. Let me see what that is. Somebody got something going on. Okay. I asked a question earlier. How great would this world be if we could just wake up tomorrow morning and racism no longer existed? What difference would that make in our society?
Well, that's an easy one. Look at our babies when they play with each other. Look at our babies and how beautiful that is. You could have one of every color and race in that circle, and all of them laughing, giggling, playing, carefree, not caring about nothing. All they know is they got a friend right there that can get that joke, that can laugh at that same silly thing with them. That's what they see. That's all they care about. That's what our society would look like. Because they're not worried about the color of that other child's skin. They're not worried about the background of their family. All they care about is that they have somebody there that can enjoy in the moment the same stuff that they're enjoying. Give them a hug. Give them a little sugar on the cheek. You know how babies do. And how beautiful is it?
Oh, kiss me. I got the cooties.
But it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful and heartwarming. And I don't even know if we would be able to process it as adults. If we were just to wake up tomorrow and we lived in this utopia.
Wow.
I'm not sure what that would do to our our brains. I think a lot of people would be brought to their knees. They'd be brought to tears for sure.
Exactly.
I would love that. I want to wake up tomorrow and see that world.
That's good.
But hey, a round of hugs for everybody here, because I love y'all so much.
Love you too.
I do.
You too. Absolutely. I'm going to play this commercial and then we're gonna get on out of here. Anybody got anything real quickly before hold on before you say anything? Let me hold on. That was the commercial. People that could not see it, could not see it because you're not on that part of the broadcast. It was a commercial for the Redeemed Awards. It's our second annual Redeemed Awards, which is going to be Saturday, August the 26th. Saturday, August the 26th, going to be at South Gwinnett High School auditorium. We have the auditorium for that day, honoring some great people, man. We got some great people that we're honoring on that particular day. If you can get your early bird tickets, we got early bird tickets that's available right now. If you can get in contact with me, and I'll let you know exactly how to do that. But get your early bird tickets, save yourself some money, and still have a great time. Badger, you wanted to say something real quickly?
I made a post. I said a thing on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
We can raise our children to the best of our ability. However, they are still going to have to deal with the responsibility to fight the corruption that we leave behind.
Mm-hmm. That we leave behind. That part. Anybody else have anything else they want to say? Good deal. Good deal. Rico.
Well, I got one thing to add to that.
Okay.
How about what corruption? Because I'm not leaving corruption behind in my children.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a self issue within each family unit. What
Talking
are
about
they
the
doing?
corruption in the system, not in the family unit.
Zamari?
Okay. Now I just want to make sure that's what he was talking about, because it's like, I know us here, we're not doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So as long, I just wanted to make sure that's what he was, where that was going with that.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
Well, I waited since I knew you were going to come to me and say that. A world without racism, I'll say, have you ever seen different pictures where like lions might be nurturing antelopes and different other prey
Mm-hmm.
instead of them killing it, but they actually helping it because it's injured or hurt?
Yes.
To me, that's what the world would be like. It would equate to that. The predator nurturing the prey.
Wow.
The have helping the have not.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of devouring it and taking advantage of it. It would be something similar to that. But then I'm going to ask everybody this question. Because I think that Paul might have said, maybe I was hateful too if he said it about, about Pete. I don't know if he said it or not. But I'll ask this question. Would it have been better to kill Dylan Roof or Hitler before they killed all the people they killed?
Wow.
Would it have been better to take them 2 lives before them 6,000,009 were taken?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Powerful question, brother. Powerful question. And we're gonna we'll deal with that part. See, we'll transition this over until tomorrow, and we'll deal with that part tomorrow because I really want to hear everybody's response on that. And if I do it right now, we're gonna be here till 12:30, 1:45. So
that's why I said it, so y'all can think about it tomorrow. I know everybody got to think about that one right there. This is gonna be a good one.
Exactly.
If you missed today's show and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Friday. Oh, Friday just hung up on us. Okay, let me see. Let me see here. Cassandra.
No.
Cassandra.
No.
Pray us out, sis. and you got to get some stuff for the for what month this is. We got to be able to talk about that. Get some information for us for tomorrow too. You say it's mental health awareness month, right? Cassandra?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Are you in a situation or position where you can pray?
No.
You're not? Okay. Okay. Let me see who we got here. Uh-oh. I know who we got to go to now then. Watch this. Rico, pray us out, brother. It's going to be a quick prayer, y'all.
Jesus will. Amen.
Amen. I say it's gonna be a quick prayer, y'all. I know what he was gonna say.
Yeah, thank you, Rico.
Wow, it's been.
I almost said my grace. I almost said God is great, God is good. Let him take us for our food. I almost said grace. I gave a better little short. I decided to make it short though.
Exactly. We'll do this right here. We'll do the Our Father. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Can somebody say amen?
Amen.
There you go. There you go. It's been a great broadcast. I can't wait till tomorrow so we can tackle this. The question that Rico posed to us, we're going to tackle that question tomorrow. So it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see the responses that we get from that. But right now, it's time for us to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK, your media group and associates, and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:24. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. There'll be shine some light in from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love and truth. They'll appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. God say the same.